Ladies and gentlemen, actually playing the game. I'm your host, Playing the Game Runner. Today we're doing role quests. All of them. Oh, speaking of which, I want to actually double check that. Oh, yep, that looks like that white. I'm gonna have to make a note. God dang it. Lore, I was wondering when you'd be along. Not a moment too soon either. I've got an urgent job that needs doing, and there's no one else I'd trust with it. Of course, you'll be wanting other details. It's a long story, so why don't you grab a seat over there? I'll join you shortly. Are those pineapple shells with pineapple carved up and put into the shell for presentation purposes? That's what it looks like. Now we're all set. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I'm XIV, proprietor of this place. As you know, my establishment is open to anyone. People hailing from across Tural, and sometimes further, come here to whet their appetites and slake their thirst. Given how we turn no one away, it's inevitable a few bad apples might mix into my motley patrons, and therein lies the rub. A particularly rotten bunch was here not long ago. Sitting over there, in fact, having a conversation most foul. Thank you all for coming here so far from your respective homes. We will kill them all! Sorry. Okay, I'm not in defeat. Game. As this is the first time we've all gathered in one place, perhaps formal introductions are in order. Welcome. What will you be having? Could we have a moment, please? We're in the middle of something very important. Ahem. Where was I? Oh yes, I am Apyayi. You are sitting here now, it's because I have personally invited you to the passages of the Unbound. My secretive, villainous order with ambitions to sow discord throughout the world. Villains do not often call themselves such. Nor do secret orders have their meetings in places where all eyes can see. What do you know? Your snide remarks only ruin my carefully constructed atmosphere. If I had the time to think of a suitable slogan, you would understand that words are everything. But I digress. I invited you all here for one reason. To throw the world into a mire of chaos and watch its nations crumble. What else would we call ourselves if not villainous? My only interest is to punish all who have dared to mock and belittle me. So long as I can achieve that, you can call me whatever you like. The rich, the powerful, the mighty, all shall be crushed under the weight of my ire. Is this a Hildebrand quest and nobody told me? A grand design for a group of 6. Even if we manage to muster others to our side, there's a limit to what we can accomplish. I regret to say you're right. At present, we are bound and powerless. That is why, in order to raise our fists against our oppressors, we must find the strength to shatter our shackles. And in so doing, we will become unbound. Like the bird. I know, right, Matterlord? Like the bird soaring up above. We shall take flight and spread our wicked wings, staining the azure skies black. Lady. But sometimes skies become treacherous with clouds, and even birds must rest. Oh, snobbish. Okay, he's gonna be the Ferengi. You speak of finding strength. Is that why we're here? To look for it? If so, I pledge my aid. With my newfound might at my beck and call, I shall win adoration known only by a hero. Your eagerness is heartening, and you are correct. The tools to make our goal reality lay in Thrall. Across this continent can be found certain artifacts which possess untold, one might even say, unbound power. Did you say artifacts? Woohoo! I sense an adventurous hunt for instruments of devious devilry ahead. My imagination is overflowing with images of the new forms my trickery might take. I dare say the world is not ready. Yes, well, to get to the heart of the matter, the objects are held by the disparate tribes which make their homes in the Turali continent, where they have been passed down through generations as sacred treasures. Whatever these stories these people have attached to their so-called treasures matters not. Each contained the essence of fearsome beast called Tural Vidral, and each of them in our possession, none shall be able to stand against us. We shall take the objects for ourselves, bring them across the sea, use them to undermine nations far and wide. The means by which you each choose to do so, I leave in your hands. I only ask that you do not disappoint. Still not showing anybody's faces, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Other than hers. I take it there are no questions. Then let the passage of the unbound open to the world. We begin at once. To evil! They didn't order a single thing. The truly most villainous thing they could have possibly done. It's literally the Hildebrand music. That's the long and the short of it. What do you think? I think it's a bunch of nobodies I'm going to go destroy. They left without ordering anything. Villainous indeed. It's right there in their name. They're unbound by manners and respect, and won't be welcome back here anytime soon. You, on the other hand, can stay as long as you like. Speaking of which, here's your Mai Tai. Oh, thank you. Of course, we had a duty to report what we had to the Landsguard. We did, but it didn't make a damn difference, because we soon learned those unwelcome guests had teeth. Not long ago, one individual from a remote tribe came here seeking help recovering a stolen relic. Then came another with the same story, and another, and so on. By the time we realized the passage of the Unbound was a real threat, they had one and all made their way across the sea with their ill-gotten gains. Each tribe has sent one of their own to recover what was lost, but being in strange lands, they're at a disadvantage. That's why I've been looking for someone who knows every corner of Eorzea and beyond. And yeah, that's me. Now, I know you've got business in Taral, or else you wouldn't be here in the first place, but if you take the time to hear Majun, out, you'd be doing a service to many who'd like a helping hand. Tell you what, throw in one of those kebabs, and you're in. What you mean you're in? No, I'm already in. Give me the kebab! Give me the kebab! Give me the kebab! Give me one taco. One? Yes, one taco! Okay. Greetings. Allow me to personally thank you for lending assistance in this matter. We've been quite desperate for someone suitable. So, greetings. At the risk of becoming a daily nuisance, I must ask, any developments you might share? A nuisance? Why, perish the thought. You've come just in time, in fact. None other than the vaunted lore has agreed to aid the search. Finally, a fortunate turn. So long as the sacred treasures are in wicked hands, our homes shall know no peace. To say nothing of the danger they pose to the other nations. If these thieves really do intend to stir up chaos across the seas, you'd better depart on the next ship. No, that's okay. I can teleport there. What? Yeah, I can just teleport across the continents. Before you do, it might be appropriate to introduce yourself to those who have come to Tuliolo in search of your aid. So there's Loazaniqui. Nope. Loazanique. There we go. There comes a villager from the north. A single warrior cannot hope to withstand the power of her tribe's relic, so she requires a stout protector, someone that can be leaned upon when times are darkest. So tank. The heirloom that Naipene must recover afflicts terrible maladies upon its victims. He seeks someone who commands great healing magics. Yeah, okay. The search for Shashapia's tribal treasure has been entrusted to a peerless hunter. She acts as a front-line fighter who can distract her target where her bow takes aim. Okay, sorry, that's tank. And lastly, Suhe, who knows little about her people's ancient artifact, decide that it must not fall into the wrong hands. She seeks a mage of great power. But anything beyond that lies shrouded in mystery. Aren't you forgetting someone? Your crisis is just as pressing, even if you won't say so yourself. Rohoja hails from the further south even than Mamuk. Has traveled many days and nights in search of someone who can strike down their prey from afar. That's the only way to escape the effect of the village's treasure. Did I get that right? Indeed. I do get so forgetful at my old age. Thank you, Ralph. 5 tribes, 5 stolen treasures. All waiting for a brave soul. Which is you. I mean, you spent like... God, I don't even know how many days leveling. Of course, I shall share all I know in the matter. You need only ask. And... I mean, it probably does sound pretty insane, Blade Deval, which is doubly funny because it's totally true. We can literally teleport anywhere we've already been across the planet that has an ether crystal. To another dimension, back in time, and to the end of the universe. It's not even a joke, that's just something we can do. Speaking of which, I do want to say a public shout-out and thank you again to Rax for procuring me the armor that allows me to do these role quests, because I'm an idiot. Thank you, Rax. Yep, these are role quests. They've been doing role quests since, Shadowbringers, I want to say. I mean, they had a couple of follow-up class quests, but those were, like, just a cutscene. Oh, hello. Did Brookivou send you to help recover our stolen treasure? Yep. Thank the heavens. And judging by your accoutrements, you're learned in the arcane arts, yes? I have finally figured out how to play Red Mage, yes. If so, we've need of your power and wisdom. Truth be told, it is wisdom we require most. You see, even though the treasure has been guarded by our people for generations, we know little of its true nature. In ages past, the forests of our homeland were plagued with terrible beasts, a constant source of fear and danger. To combat this menace, our mages spent many moons researching the treasure known as the Perch of the Apex. Upon unlocking its secrets, they were able to drive the monsters from the woods, bringing peace at last. With the treasure all but eradicated... With the threat all but eradicated, our forebears forbade any further use of the treasure and enshrined it in the village. As the years passed, we slowly forgot what it was to live in fear. We need a learned mage. Woo! Yet as our struggles faded into memory, stories surrounding the Perch of the Apex became legend and then myth. This sentence structure. Now, none living are certain of its true power. Yet the peace was shattered by a member of the Passage of the Unbound. The villain wheedled his way into our trust and stole upon my husband, the treasure's point guardian, catching him unaware with a terrible blow that left him unconscious. He is yet to awaken, so my daughter Tepeke has set forth to retrieve what was stolen. Unlike her father, she has no skill in the arcane arts and chose the path of the sword. That's why I've been seeking someone with knowledge she lacks, should the ancient power be unleashed. Please. If there's a mystic artifact involved, count me in. Is there a god I can kill, just for funsies? Oh, thank you. Now, our only clue to the thief's whereabouts is something he mentioned during his stay at our village. He spoke of a desire to bring change to a place called Radzatan. This is where Tepeke decided to begin her search, so she boarded a ferry bound there by way of Laminsa with her trusted sword and shield close at hand. That's how you'll know her. Also, to be quite honest with ourselves, it's one of those weird things, right? If she sailed off by boat days ago, we might get there before her because we can teleport. She agreed to stay at Radzatan to gather information until 8 arrived. I know nothing of the place, but it's likely she can be found in a marketplace or some such. Please, bring our treasure and my daughter safely home. Where are you going? I'm going to Radzatan. Well, you can do that? Bye! The infinitely superior town music here. Oh my god. Oh, you're looking for me? Whatsoever for? Ah, your lord. You say my mother sent you. Taking care to explain the details, such as how we know next to nothing about the treasure and its capabilities. We have only legends passed down through our forebears to go on. They speak of a Thrall Vidral of an owl that once terrorized the forest, whose soul is sealed within the Perch of the Apex. The tales have only become more vague as the mists of time obscure the treasure's origin. Even our village's eldest remembers naught but an ominous warning uttered by those who once wielded its magics. The master of the Apex shall be showered with good fortune, yet leave only sorrow in their wake. It's clear that despite owing their safety to the Apex's power, our forebears viewed it as something to be feared. It must be truly immense. Now, on to the matter of the thief. Even during our brief acquaintance, he made plain his desire to bring change to Radzatan. Naturally, I've started my search here and have been seeking anyone who has expressed dissatisfaction with the status quo. Sure enough, I soon heard stories of a recent arrival, a self-styled savior of Radzatan, who proclaims he will lead the city to greatness and calls himself the Justiciar. Justiciar? He apparently has taken on the burden of personally exterminating the beasts which infest Thavnir's wilds. He made a great show of claiming he alone is equal to the task. While he certainly draws a crowd with his boasting, they only watch with morbid curiosity as he sets off into the jungles alone. I realize this could have nothing to do with our problem, but even the smallest lead must be pursued. I've heard he often gives his speeches as the region's smaller settlements, so shall we go see this Justicar for ourselves? It's decided. I hear Yedlamad would be a good place to start. Hopefully, there we can find our next crumb of a clue. Actually, I do agree with you, John Killorn. I do think Radzatan music gets old after a minute. I just hate jazz. With every fiber of my being, I eradicate jazz from the world. Lord, we're in luck. The boy saw the very man we seek. It seems he gave the same grand speech about saving the people, claiming that danger lurked nearby before venturing forth to combat it alone. Yet the Radiant host could not well stand idle if there truly were beasts afoot, so one of them followed him. All we need to do is pick up their trail. Especially Persona 5 jazz. At least when they're singing. He ran towards the shroud, but you might be able to spot him from Kajaya's footsteps. You can see the whole forest from there. Thanks, you've been very helpful. So, Laura, let's head there and see what we can see. You know, actually, I don't think I like any of the endgame town songs. Because, let's see, there's Mordona, right? And then there's Rhalgr's Feet, or Fist, or whatever it's called. Rhalgr's Reach, that I don't care for. And then there's Idleshire, which I actually is, I don't know. Look, it's at Rhalgr's Feet. What do you want from me, Rex? And then, so sorry, I'm doing these out of order. It was Mordona, then Idleshire, then Rhalgr's Feet, then Yulmore. What would Endwalker's second town be? I guess Radzenhan is correct, yeah. Because Charlayan is clearly the first town. So yeah, Radzenhan. And then whatever's in this expansion, which I clearly haven't been to yet. See, I don't think I like the music of any of the towns I just mentioned. At least not for the amount of time I have to listen to them. By contrast, I tend to like first town music. Like the Crystarium is awesome. Honestly, Tuliolo is probably one of the exceptions for me because it's jazz. Yeah, Ishgard is one of my favorite songs in the game. The Foundation, great song. Now then, let us begin our search. Since I've never actually seen the Justiciar, I suggest that we find the Radiant Host first. They'll wear similar armor, after all. This music? Really? Found something. I found something. Behold its evil glory. Yep, and remember we didn't record yesterday, Mr. Red. I mean, that's just something that Soken does in general. Soken. He really likes to repeat motifs. Whether that's good or bad is up to you, but it's definitely a thing. Not to worry, Laura. He's unconscious, but appears otherwise unharmed. I double-checked myself, Mr. Red, just to be sure. You never know. What happened? I think it is Bosch's armor. We heard you came in pursuit of the Justiciar. Do you remember anything? Yes, I eventually found him. He was confronting that fiend that now lies dead. But then... This is the music you're playing for this? At last! Oh my god! Okay, so hang on, which one were you? Was this the snobby guy? Oh god, I'm trying to remember which voice was voice. Okay. At last, the Justicia graces Radzatan. I shall bring unending peace to this beleaguered land. You are brave to follow in my path. You indeed possess the mettle to even consider the terrors which threaten our home, let alone stand against them. Yet courageous though you may be, you are far too weak to fellow be so mighty. Quit this place with your life while you are yet able. I am of the Radiant Host. If I ran from such meager pay, I would become a laughingstock. How bold to look death in the eye without even flinching. I doubt not your conviction to defend Radzatan, yet I believe it pales before mine. For I have a stick! O Apex, bestow upon me your divine might! Okay. Do you not heed my call? I require your power more than ever. Is something supposed to happen? Why am I yet unworthy? Or mayhap there's a button I must press? We gotta shake the thing. Oh no. Oh no! This is not what I expected. Stand aside, I'll dispose of the pest. Just give me a moment. Can't end like this. I won't be made a fool. Come on, you moldy trinket, work! Transform me into the hero of Radzatan! He brandished that idol and became wreathed in mysterious light, and then boulders started falling from the sky. Okay. Down they came, one after another, and that's when I must have been struck unconscious. Dude, a boulder that big should have frickin' killed you. I'm just saying. I recall only faintly, but I heard the man mumbling, quite excitedly, as if he'd come upon a sudden revelation, or was overtaken by madness. Seems he got away unscathed. Either had an incredible stroke of luck, or whatever he was beseeching to actually answered. And it's as I suspected, that this Justiciar is the self-same thief who stole the perch of the Apex. But no doubt he's departed from here. First, I'll escort this fellow back to Yedlamad and keep a close eye on him. Head wounds can have dreadful after effects. The restaurant in Tuliolo, Spartan. The soldier made his way to Radzatan to make a formal report. What a report it will be. His account seemed to align with the legends of the treasure's powers. The wielder escapes unharmed and brought ruin to those around him. Could those falling rocks have been a freak accident? I'm not so sure. You won't believe it. He came back! Who came back? The Justiciar? Yeah, not long after you left. He said he beat up the monster that knocked out a Radiant. He was laughing his head off. Did he really do that? Is he really stronger than the Radiant? No. Yeah, just no. Just no. Well, my mate can't stop talking about him. He wants to be just like the Justiciar. Mom and Dad weren't happy about that, though. I mean, yeah. I'd advise you and your friend look for a different role model. But thank you for telling us what happened. Well, there is one less fiend skulking about, I suppose. He may have simply been testing the treasure's capabilities, and as far as we know, has yet to use its power for evil end. I find his motivations a mystery. To steal the perch of the Apex by force, only to come here to Thavnir and use it for good? It makes no sense. I've heard tale of this passage of the Unbound, yes? Many have ventured to Tuliolo, claiming to be their victims. Yet, here they would be saviors? If he had such noble goals, why did he stoop to such devious deception? What could he be plotting? He might also be stupid. But that's neither here nor there. He stole from my people, and that misdeed cannot be forgiven. The perch of the Apex helped us win peace. By its might, our forebears built the foundation of the lives we now lead. Until recently, it stood silent, a symbol of our pride as a people. It reminded us that we carved out a home in that inhospitable wilderness. Being trusted with its protection is a great honor. I was so proud of my father when the elders chose him. So proud to be his daughter. Yet since the day it was stolen, some of the villagers made their disdain towards him only too clear. I couldn't bear it. That's why I must get it back, to restore my village's pride and my father's reputation. There's still so much we don't know about the Justiciar, but we have to assume he's learned to wield the Apex's power. I can't say whether those falling rocks have anything to do with it, but I won't discount it outright. Come back in 2 levels. Okay. Hey, you're back. I'm afraid there's been some developments that are less than encouraging in the last 3 seconds. News of the Justiciar's actions have spread through the city, and with each retelling, his deeds become more valorous. The younger citizens in particular seem to view him as something of an idol. Despite the creatures he hunts posing no real danger, he would paint them as mighty beasts in need of felling. Of course, the Radiant Host are far too busy to trouble themselves culling every pest that casts a sideway glance at the city gates. Yet the Justiciar has twisted circumstances to his advantage. He proclaims to anyone who'll listen that the Radiant Host shrinks with terror before these beasts, and he's the only one who can eradicate them. You might expect such claims to be dismissed as wild ramblings. It seems no small few have fallen for his ploy. Yeah, could you imagine one guy actually telling nonsense lies constantly and people actually falling for that? That would be crazy. We mustn't be discouraged, for his increasing fame only makes it easier to sniff out his trail. And we're better start at Radzadan. I mean, honestly, Jatoho, that wouldn't surprise me if that's where this is going. How large the city is, let's split up. I'll head to the High Crucible. Fallen Rocks and marked location where he's performed his feats. We can do an alchemical thing, yada yada yada. tired of hearing about this Justiciar. His popularity amongst the city's younglings is quickly... Oh, younglings! Perhaps we'd like to refute his claims that the Radiant Host are allowing monstrous beasts to run amok unchecked. You know how young minds are. Impressionable and difficult to change once set. We initially disregarded him as boastful eccentric, but the alarming sway of the populace can no longer be ignored. We are at present considering whether to open a formal investigation into his activities. You and this ally of yours have done well in your search thus far. You even have a working theory about the stones. Several of our number have encountered him during their patrols, only to lose sight of him under a hail of rocks. Such incidents have become all too frequent, and many are ranked to demand that we act. For now, I'm afraid this is all the help we can offer. Please share what I've told with your companion, and together we'll unmask the Justiciar. The Justiciar will win again! Sorry. I've never won before, but this time's going to be different. Yes. I'm just saying, he could have big-ass orange skin and lying to people. It's heartening to know that the Radiant... Oh my god, Trump's a Ferengi. It's heartening to know that the Radiant Host are taking this seriously. Thank you for speaking with them, Lord. I have good tidings as well. I explained the situation to the alchemist, and they provided a powder that should help detect traces of magic in the surrounding environment. I say help because the powder reacts only faintly on its own. To function properly, I require the skills of one practiced in the arcane's arts. Luckily, I have you. I can paint! I've committed the locations of all the sightings of the Justiciar to memory, and the closest was the perfumed rise. Congrats, Ross. The Justiciar was sighted near here, and I didn't see any other conspicuous stones around, so I've sprinkled powder over this one. Now concentrate. Focus your inner eye, or whatever it is that's the locus of your power. Yes, so let me use my arcane might. What are these music choices for this quest chain? Are we sure this isn't the Scholar quest? So... I've got good news and bad news. I knew you could do it. So there are no crystals in the rock. The energy you detected must be the remnants of some kind of spell. Is that right? Taking the story of the radiant we'd recovered into account, we can conclude that Justiciar uses the treasure to call stones down from the sky. Like, so there's Meteor... Then there's Comet. Is there like a lower version of Comet? My father once said the perch of Apex is much like the wand he used to weave his magics. Of course, the main difference between them is the unique nature of the essence stored in the treasure. I know little of such arcane instruments, but you must be quite familiar with them. How do you use yours? I paint things! See, if determination or intent are what's required, I dare say that Justiciar has his share, if little else. Even with all his fervent yelling, it took quite a while for the rocks to appear from the sky. I suppose the perch of the apex possesses some unique method of activation. Yes, it has a button! When I spoke to the representatives of the other tribes about their treasures, no one mentioned a special technique being required. Not that the relic should have much in common to begin with. You two, did you see an Ari girl pass by here, through here by herself? No. Wait, I recognize you. You're the hero of the final days, and a recent visitor from Dural. Apologies for the imposition. May I beg your assistance? It's all that Justiciar's fault. The girl said she would join that fool's crusade and ran out of Yedlamad before anyone could stop her. Her mother begged us to find her, but if she's following the Justiciar, she could be anywhere. You see, he's been sighted at locations scattered all over Thavnair. We can't stand here looking at rocks while a cute girl is in danger, especially if the Justiciar is involved. We have to help. That'd be much appreciated. We started searching where he's been spotted before, so maybe we can start where he hasn't been seen. Good idea. As far as I know, he hasn't been seen in the northern shores. Come on, Lore. Also, what's the final days? Don't worry about it. That would have been a funny time for her, you know, because she's from Tural, to be like, what are the final days? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Good morning, Bragman. Yeah, we're past the final days, contrarily enough. Okay, kid? What did you just do? I destroyed them utterly. Are you okay? Yes? I heard the fighting, so I came as fast as I could. It's a good thing you arrived in time to save the girl. Thank you, mister. Thank you. I'm glad you're safe, but your mother must be worried sick. You shouldn't wander off like that, especially not to look for a trickster like the Justiciar. What, you mean he's a bad man? Yes, exactly. He stole an important treasure from my village, and now he's using it to make himself look brave. But he needs to kill the monsters to protect us. That's no excuse for stealing. He might have fooled you younglings, but the Radiant Host knows what he's up to. But he said he'd save us from the monsters. He's our hero. The Radiant said we shouldn't be scared, but we all know that Justiciar is the one who keeps us safe. We don't need the Radiant anymore. No hero can save the world alone. Not even me. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say bad things about the Radiant. They protected everyone in the final days. I guess I forgot how much they care about us. Why do you keep mentioning this final days? I'm sorry, too. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that after all you've been through. You said that Justiciar is a thief and a trickster, but I hope it's not true. He's my hero. Narrator. It was true. And I will put that towards Fallout New Vegas, RPGs in general, and 4Xs in general. Thank you as always, Nightmare, for being part of the show. girl and her mother are reunited, and I think we can both give ourselves a pat on the back. They're on their way now to inform the Radiant Host that all is well. I'd like to apologize for before. Let my emotions get the better of me. Harangued that poor girl when she was hardly to blame for anything. I really should have been scolding myself. Lore, there's something I neglected to tell you before. I'm so ashamed of the fact that you keep painting every enemy we see. The man who now calls himself the Justiciar came to us in the guise of a worldly merchant. He was eager to ask about the Perch of the Apex and its history, and I was equally eager to tell him, not even considering what he might do with the information. I was so proud of my father for being appointed its guardian. I suppose I was trying to impress the stranger out of sheer vanity. That vanity led to my father being attacked and the treasure being stolen from under our noses. I have no choice but to make amends for my mistake and bring it back. Yet some are convinced the Justiciar acts only to serve the greater good. Dude, it's really obvious he's just in it for the ego. I wouldn't accept that he might not be as rotten as I thought, and I lashed out at the wrong person. From now on, I can't let my emotions cloud my judgment. Must remain calm. And look at the facts for what they are. And the facts say that the Justiciar has done no harm to the people of Thavnir. Yay! As long as you're not telling them to drink bleach, we're good. Even so, the organization he serves, the Passage of the Unbound, is evil to its very core. If his actions at my village are not villainy, I don't know what is. The situation is fraught with contradictions. I don't know what to think. What about you, Lore? Yeah, he's stirring unrest, regardless of actually attacking people. I agree. He speaks of justice and heroism with great bluster, yet there's something we're missing. Thank you for your wise words. I sometimes find it difficult to keep my heart from skewing my perspective, so I'm grateful you're here to help me see clearly. So it seems our objective is unchanged. We must have some empty text while we wait for 2 more levels to happen. And no, Act, I would have no possible way of really gauging such a thing. Like, if you asked me a specific game, I could be like, see this game over here? This is a Braegwyn game. See? Braegwyn. But, like, do you have any idea how much additional ridiculous work it would be to list a genre for every single game on the list? Also, and this may sound strange, but I'm not sure what the point of such a thing would be. The whole point is you're picking a genre, not a game. Hey, Fife. I guess I'll put that towards dealer's choice. Thank you for being part of the show. Remember, you can pick a genre instead of that if you prefer. Lore, I hope you've been well in the last 5 seconds. Since we last spoke, 5 seconds ago, the Justiciar has been busy felling fiends all across Thavnir, leaving a trail of witnesses in his wake. More than a few have reported seeing stones falling from the sky, which all but confirms our theory that the treasure is causing the phenomenon. The stories share one more peculiar commonality. It seems the pests he hunts have all been of the seedkin variety. Why he avoids beasts of flesh and blood is yet a mystery. It bears mentioning that each of these eyewitness accounts comes from people who were rescued by the Justiciar, who invariably appear just as the creatures attack. In fact, the Justiciar has been there to save the day every single instance of seedkin-related mischief. Awfully suspicious, if you ask me, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. Some amongst the Radiant Host have suggested the Justiciar is planning these assaults somehow so he can reap the glory from thwarting them. Yep. I agree. I think this should be our next avenue of investigation. Many of these incidents occur near the Giant Skull ground, so we should start our search there. If we can find one of these monstrous plants before it finds hapless prey, we'll be able to shed light on the Justiciar's methods. Time is of the essence, so I'm going to slowly walk away. What is that? Oh, right. We should do this. At some point. Kind of, but not really, Act. Why do you ask? moving bushes, slithering vines. Well, not here in any case. Laura, I'll search the western path. Why don't you go east? Always to the east. Yep, and you want me to capture it alive. You got it. Yeah, I've actually seen that Shadow Machine. And I agree with you, that is just ridiculous. I mean, we know why it happened. Nintendo usually doesn't play ball with the reviewer bribery thing, so it's no surprise that one of their lesser-known games would get such a bad review, because after all, they didn't pay for it. I see plenty of fauna roaming around, but the floor all seems to be at the root of the ground variety. Yeah, here, I got a marble seedling. You found one. In fact, this is exactly as Eyewitnesses described. Why don't you keep it for the time being? Bring it to the great work. I'll ask my assistant to examine it with all haste. Like, I know opinions vary, and that's just life. But I would like to think that none of the reviews I've ever given have ever been as bad as IGN's reviews. Like, I would like to think I have done my due diligence on at least giving my explanations and my reasoning for why I give certain ratings to certain games. Unlike IGN, which is IGN. Watched an IGN review? I'm not sure I've ever watched one. As for read, I really did read the Brothership review just last week. It was hilariously bad. I actually tend to read the reviews fairly frequently, because there's another interesting facet when it comes to IGN reviews, in how they'll be like, in the review they're like, oh my god, this game is amazing, it's so great, it's fantastic, it's incredible, it's perfect, 4 out of 10. Or sometimes they'll do the opposite, right? I hated this game, it was too grindy, it was frustrating, it was aggravating, I didn't even finish it, 9 out of 10. Mistress Tepeke told me what to expect. Yeah, no kidding, Shadow Machine. Well then, let's see the thing. Probably a masculine man. See, that's what makes me so stupid as a reviewer. I actually care quite a bit about the reviews scores I give and making them as accurate as is reasonable to do. I didn't expect to be so diminutive. If Mistress Tepeke's intuition is correct, I expect some interesting discoveries are in store. Which is why I occasionally do things like audit previous reviews, or categorize everything for easy searching. Hey, Archeon Vale. You've brought me quite the fascinating specimen indeed. I can't say for certain the creature's growth isn't natural in the slightest. Biologically, it's but a sapling, as you can tell by the size, yet it's the result of specific alchemical mixture, which is used to spur the growth of seeds and mycelium to an unnatural degree. The agents have a side effect of making the creatures more aggressive, which explains why such a small specimen would so boldly attack beings larger than itself. Yet the solution requires ingredients most rare. The cost of procuring enough to synthesize it would be beyond the means of most. List calls happen roughly once every month, Archeon Vale. But, to explain that a little bit, any game that either hasn't had interest put towards it for 3 months, or any game that is clearly a dead fruit game tends to get culled. That happens, like I said, every month. It's one of the things I do in the first. So whoever did this is rich. As for the creatures themselves, if they were all grown artificially, perhaps that explains why most of the incidents involve small seedkin. Rather than wait for them to mature naturally, the Justiciar must have accelerated their growth so he could deploy huge numbers over a short span of time. In fact, his plan likely requires they be weak, small foes to guarantee his victory. After all, the great Justiciar can hardly be expected to bear the blemish of defeat. With all these new details brought to light, it's almost certain he's staging these attacks on the common folk. Now we have a new perspective. Perhaps you should return to Yedlamot. I hear the Justiciar is the talk of the village, and doubtless they have stories to share. A splendid idea, thank you. I am a little bit shorter than a Rogadin, but not by much, Yura. Hello, Takoda. Hello, Dustborn. If we find this guy and we find out his name is Syndrome, a way to keep a game from being cold? Yeah, to regularly put interest towards it. Yeah, Aura, that's what they were called. I couldn't think of the name. I'm slightly shorter than a Max Aura, and I'm slightly shorter than a Max Rogadin. I don't know what ears have to do with anything. However, when it comes to the Viera, I am taller than a Viera unless you count their ears. Rest assured, the Radiant Host is well aware of the Justiciar. Every day we are receiving more reports of him combating beasts in the surrounding wilderness. These encounters are never on well-traveled roads, it seems. They occur in remote regions that we scarcely patrol, along routes that are only used by a small number of merchants and porters. We've concluded that Justiciar either has uncommon knowledge of behavioral patterns, or he keeps close company with a merchant who travels those paths. Let's see, is Bregman still here? Yeah, looks like I lost her. That's okay. I was just going to show a Viera side by side so you can see what I was talking about. Yeah, once we get to the next zone, I'm going to go ahead and see this new quest tracker thing. Because I'm 90% certain I gave a negative for limiting us to only 5 trackings at once. Oh, you're hungry enough to learn more of the Justiciar? He's amazing! I was lucky enough to catch a glimpse of him on the road leading here, facing down a fearsome creature. I know how he did it, but he called down rocks from the sky to knock the thing flat. The Radiant Host were on patrol, so if he hadn't come to rescue, the brute would have marched right into our homes. He shouted he was the savior of Radz-at-Han, even waved at me. He looked so impressive with the shun. Right? It's just Trump. It's just Trump. That's who we're going after. Sorry, I know I'm trying not to talk about things like that, but Jesus Christ. Don't tell me you've come chasing this half-baked savior. The younglings might be taken by his honeyed words, but anyone with experience can tell he's nothing but a charlatan. Uh-huh. And I have a story to prove it. A merchant, I know, took a tumble as he was transporting his goods. Not long after comes the Justiciar, looking chivalrous as you please in a shining armor. But did he offer a helping hand? No. He ran off with nary a glance backwards. Uh-huh. He may go about slaying beasts, but a real hero would never ignore someone in need, even if they were just suffering from scaped knees and a bruised ego. I should probably mention that when I say culling Archaon Vale, I don't actually delete the game or its list. It just goes onto the cold list. And, as you might imagine, games can also be pulled out of the cold list if they are then donated towards in the future. I believe Hildegard was added this patch, which we're not doing, of course. Lord, do you have a moment? I'm having a little trouble here. I sought out this merchant because I was told he dealt with the alchemist, but, well, he's been like this ever since. Apologies, I was just surprised you would ask me about that madman. What connection could he possibly have with me? The fiends he fights are grown with rare alchemical materials, and we think he may be staging these encounters. And since you deal in such wares, I was wondering if you might know how he came into their possession. I know what you're talking about. I've never spoken to that man. Maybe he'll be more receptive to questioning from you, Lore. Yeah, hi. I'm the hero of the final days. I'm just going to be really blunt about this. You dare accuse me? How do I know you're not the one in league with Virazan? Virazan? Who's that, may I ask? But no, that's my name. I'd be a fool to continue this charade any longer. My son, Virazan, is the one you know as the Justiciar. To be suddenly confronted with his litany of misdeeds, I quite lost my composure. You're his father? Then do you know how he came into possession of such rare materials and knowledge? He stole them from me. My most valuable materials and my precious maps. It was I who chose to hide this fact, and I bear the blame for the consequences. What can you tell us about him as a person? Virazan was obsessed with tales of legendary heroes, even from a young age. I paid a great deal of money to have him tutored in the art of the bow. He became quite skilled at it, though not quite as skilled as his arrogance led him to believe. Due to this, and perhaps a lack of ambition, he never aspired to true greatness. Instead, he came to rely upon fanciful equipment and exotic potions, rather than honing what skill he had. It pained me to see him fall into dissoluteness, but he would brook no counsel. So, several years ago, I gave him enough coin to support his lifestyle and told him never speak with me again. He didn't, until but recently when he darkened my doorstep once more. And that was when he stole your goods. Aye, though I would have willingly given them had he but asked. He was rambling almost incoherently, saying his heroic deeds as the Justiciar had got the eye of someone named Apyahi, leader of the Passage of Unbound, whoever they are. He claimed that under the guidance of his newfound allies he had obtained a great power enough to eclipse all heroes who have come before and shall come after, as he put it. It seems he gives what money he still has to these people. To think that for all his fanciful words he had only deigned to grasp at hollow glory at the expense of Radzidhan. There's no greater shame as a father. Given what we know of this shadowy group, they most likely aim to sow discontent through Virazan's deeds. He may be so blinded by his own desire for adoration he can't see whose hands are pulling his strings. You're saying he's being used. If that's true, then I can no longer remain silent, despite what shame it may bring. I see now sharing my story might be the only way to save my son. Indeed, I suggest you tell the Radiant Host at once. Of course, we will go kill his ass. I mean, stop him. Yeah, he's a trust fund baby. He's Trump! He's Trump! Truth be told, I'm not entirely unsympathetic towards Virazan. I basked in my father's reflected glory while having none of my own to speak of. The glory Virazan seeks is similarly false. I, too, shall visit the Radiant Host and have them spread word of the Justiciar's true nature. If the people are wise to his trickery, they will be far more likely to aid us. He'll soon learn that a legend built on lies is no match for true heroism. Now, come back in 2 more levels. Okay. Ah, you're back. Virazan's father's been good as his word and has confessed the truth of his son's actions to whomever will listen. Even amongst the younglings, far fewer sing the Justiciar's praises. The tide is turning in our favor at last, and the Radiant Host is making ready to tighten the net. Speaking of which, they had curious news to share. They've been examining the stones left behind and noticed a pattern. They're all varieties of rock commonly found near the site of each encounter. For instance, near the Giant Skull ground, the Justiciar seemed to have called down a hail of what else but Giant Skull. I have my own theories, but I want to hear your thoughts. Yeah, it doesn't create rocks from nothing. Indeed, the perch of the apex likely lifts whatever nearby stones and brings them crashing down to the earth. If our suspicions are correct, then we're one step closer to unraveling its mysteries. But despite these favorable developments, the Justiciar's popularity remains a problem. Even with the recent blow to his credibility, his most ardent followers still idolize him. In fact, he's handing letters to the youth in secret, though their contents are closely guarded. All the more reason to investigate. Once we get to Radzidhan, if we question people around the marketplace, could you cover the western quarter? Yeah, sure. Let's just do this. This guy, I swear. Yeah, misinformation towards the vulnerable, who then spread his word, and any attack upon him is, of course, just some kind of jealousy, or whatever. It's like this... This is the last thing I'll say about this. Trump's tactics are not new. They're well-trod ground that have worked for centuries. The Justiciar gave that invitation himself, only for some thief to snatch it right out of my hand. You believe in the Justiciar too? I didn't have a chance to read the whole letter, but he's gathering the most devoted for a special audience. The bastard who stole my invitation is clearly up to no good. He even muttered something about getting revenge. Who could hate someone so noble? And here's a Vieira, by the way. Well, here's a Vieira's back. So as you can see, the ears about come up to the top of my head. But as you can see, without them, I'm a good head taller than her. Whoops. There you go. And also, she's a robot. You know, in all honesty, Blade Turtle, I wouldn't be surprised either. Obviously, there's a little bit of timeline stuff going on, but again, people like Trump, like, we all focus on Trump right now, but he's not alone. You know what I mean? Con men and charlatans like him have been a commonplace thing for centuries, if not longer. That actually looks really cool, by the way, Brandon, that outfit. I really like that. Gold and black is always a good combo, but like gold and black with red highlights, that's even better. And it complements the way you've done your hair and your ears. So that looks really cool. Those people have not seen his business career, Archeon Vale. He might be one of the least successful businessmen we've had in the last century. Yeah, I know about the letters. Me and my friends didn't get one, though. The grown-ups get angry if we talk about the Justiciar. Guess what? I heard Zeshnal talking about them over by Murad's Maid. He had a big grin on his face, too. Does that mean the Justiciar isn't a bad man, like the grown-ups say? I mean, tariffs is low-hanging fruit. Some of you may or may not be aware. I'm sorry. I know I just said I wouldn't talk about this. He put into... he bankrupted a casino. Do you know how impressive that is? He put into account a new tax protocol, which went into effect in 2017. Okay, that tax protocol was to try and reduce the amount of taxes on upper-ended individuals and corporations, reducing it down to, I think it was 24% or something like that, taxes. So, sorry, that's a lot of words to say. He cut large-scale corporation taxes. Okay. Now, the excuse for that was, of course, to allow more money to flow into the corporations, which naturally would trickle down to us. I don't even know where to start with dissecting how stupid of a statement that is. So, end statement. And I point to that example specifically because that's not something he said he'll do, and that's not something his opponents have said he'll do. That's something he did. And yeah, we've been seeing the effects of that for the last 6 years, or 7 years, excuse me, at this point. It's okay, he said he will actually make an even bigger tax cut for large-scale corporations. And anybody who makes more than $360,000 a year. Not less, more. It's a good way to put that, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this once and then move on. Trickle-down economics is a goddamn lie. It always has been. In Roman times, in the Republic of Rome, trickle-down economics were a lie. Oh, so you're the ones who are always following Tepeke around. I heard she's spreading rumors about the city's savior. I won't let her harm this reputation any more than she already has, so I have nothing to say to her lapdog. Wow. Sorry, Savacom. I know I said I wouldn't bring it up anymore. I'll let it go. I wouldn't have even brought it up, but like we're literally chasing a bad guy who's just straight up borrowed off of the archetype, you know. Hey, look, you remember this one? I left this here for a whole expansion. Anyways. It's true what they say, a fool and his guild are soon departed. Wait, what's the flaw in my logic? I missed it. Like literally, I'm sorry, I didn't actually see a flaw in my argument there. Like, corporations aren't exactly evil, but they're... Okay. Hang on. So, corporations are like 5-year-olds. I'm not saying that to be insulting. I mean that literally, okay? If you've ever had a 5-year-old who you just leave in the kitchen and you just put the cookies right there on the side of the counter, what is going to happen? Yeah, no, corporations, this is nothing new. Corporations go out of their way to push the envelope and get away with everything they possibly can at every opportunity. They're always trying to push the envelope to try and make more money at the expense of the people around them, right? I do admit that from a purely personal philosophical perspective, I would say that, yeah, that's evil. But the same mentality still applies. The reason that the child doesn't just go there and eat the entire box of cookies is because you put the cookies up on the top of the shelf so they can't reach them. If they want a cookie, they can ask for one. This is what regulations applies to. This is how regulations exist. We don't just allow corporations to get away with whatever they want to. Instead, we actually have things and limitations and possible tools that exist from a legal framework perspective to allow people to go after the corporation and say, hey, don't be evil, right? Because we've seen many, many, many examples of this, again, historically speaking. The living and working conditions of the people who worked in the fabric factories back in the early 1920s and 1910s is a perfect example of that. The very fact that the FEC exists at all is a concept of adding regulatory bodies in order to try and pull back on corporations so they didn't just do whatever they wanted to. It is probably worth noting that most of those regulations are built on literal bodies. And I'm not saying that to try and make a point. That's just kind of a disgusting and real fact. People have literally died in order to allow for these regulatory bodies to be crafted, because that's what gave enough weight to the argument that, hey, we should pull back on what they are allowed to get away with. The very existence of the 40-hour work week is another example of that, because we used to work a lot more than 40 hours a week as a regular thing. A perfect example of that is how several people would actually adjust the clocks in their, like literally the physical clocks, the analogs, whatever they're called, that they used to have. And they would adjust them so they would run just a little bit slower. So they would just squeeze like a half an hour or an hour extra work out of people every day, because screw them, right? This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Obviously, we're a lot better than that now. But the reason we're so much better than that now is because we've stepped in and said, hold up, and tried to pull back the reins a little bit. Now, yeah, no, that's a real thing. You can look that up, Dustborn. This is also a big thing in Britain, by the way. Obviously, we're doing a lot better than we used to. I speak against corporations a lot because I have so much experience with corporate America. But it is worth noting that things have gotten a lot better. However, we also need to not let them pull us back. You know what I mean? We need to not let them get to the point where they're treating us even worse than they already currently are. How many of you right now, or within the last year or so, have been trying to find a job, for example? I actually know someone who lives up in Canada even, who's been having a tremendously difficult time just getting a job because of the nature of how things are cycling through right now. And this is when we get into the complex weeds of the things, which is, you notice I'm starting to stall a little bit because I don't want to really go down the rabbit hole on this. But all of this is a long and complex way of saying that we can't just let people get away with things all willy-nilly in general, right? My opinion, anyways. 6 months out of work. Yeah. Yeah, one of my other friends who lives over in California has been having trouble getting a job right now. Or not California. I don't know why I said California. Arizona. And no, I don't mean you, Savicon. It's someone else. I have a lot of friends who live in Arizona now. It's really strange. But anyways. Why do we even start this topic? Oh, right, I had a flaw in my... So, right. So, the overall point, sorry. The overall point I was trying to make is that we have as of this moment in time, as of 2024, we have a demonstrable bit of objective evidence that says that if we cut taxes on larger scale corporations, all that's going to happen is they're going to cycle those taxes back into stock buybacks in order to artificially increase the value of their stock, which increases the amount of specie in the economy, which is increasing the overall value of inflation, which is giving companies an excuse to raise their prices regardless of the reality of that situation, which is then feeding even further inflation as other companies are doing the same thing to catch up. It's the one bad apple concept. You have a bushel of apples, right? And you get one apple's rotting in there. And anybody who's seen that happen knows that you see one apple rotting in a bushel, you throw away all the apples around it because who knows what's infected them already, right? One company in a particular field or industry being abusive or being manipulative or deciding to get worse, for lack of a better way to put that, encourages every other company to do it in order to keep up. It's the tax avoidance problem, to use another expression of this exact same problem. You might say corporations shouldn't use so many tax avoidances. I can't remember what that's actually called all of a sudden. But it's when a specific corporation does a bunch of loopholes and weird things to make sure that they don't pay taxes at all, right? Well, you might say, well, I'm going to stand on moral ground and refuse to avoid paying taxes. Well, that's great because your corporation is going right down the tubes because you can't compete anymore. Because the other corporations in your same industry are all doing everything that they can to avoid paying taxes, which means they're making more money and they're able to do more with that money, get more investment, get more people involved, keep the company running, and of course, keep their product and or services going. And you are losing money for no real personal benefit or gain. So, yeah. Now, if it isn't one of the heroes of the final days, this isn't about the map I sold to your companion, is it? You'll find it points the way to the vaults of Alzdal. Oh my god, I hate that. Alzdal III, exactly as I described. I may have employed a few creative methods to entice my customers, but what merchant doesn't? Oh my god, we were just talking about this! You're as unscrupulous as ever. Now, a man can't fill his belly on virtue and honesty. Just making my point here. Anyway, Rod, something tells me that's not why you're here. You're after the Justiciar. Your choice of quarry is unusual, to say the least. Perhaps I can help you along. A young man asked me for a map to open the way to Uznair. I sold him every map I had, assuring him the one he needed was among them. I suppose he found it, as I hear these letters were handed out carrying a copy of the map. I dare say that young fellow was the Justiciar himself, and he's planning a clandestine meeting in the Uznair Canal. I can't wait to say that word all of a sudden. Canals! Canals! There we go. Mind you, it appears he has no shortage of enemies. No doubt they'll try to interfere. Thankfully, Radzatan isn't known for large-scale criminal organizations, but that hasn't kept the less scrupulous citizens from dirtying their hands when times are desperate. From what I hear, bandits seeking to rob trade caravans keep running into the Justiciar during his fiend-felling exploits, causing the raids to end in failure. Like as not, they'll try to infiltrate his group of followers and settle the score. And that's where my knowledge of the matter ends. If you're wondering where the meeting place is, all I remember is the same spot marked in the copious maps is somewhere on the Shroud of Samga. Does that answer your queries? Where's she at? Oh, she's right there. That's like right outside. I have a weird feeling Wuklamad is actually going to be leaving the narrative soon, as soon as we get back to the MSQ. And I'm okay with that. It's just interesting to think about. Those in support of the Justiciar didn't seem surprised when I told them of his misdeeds, but they were still reluctant to betray him. In short, no luck. What about you? Ah, your investigative abilities never cease to amaze me. As for this gathering Virazon is planning, I expect it's some scheme to prop up his flagging popularity. Even so, many of his devotees are younglings ill-equipped to make the perilous journey to the meeting place. If they've any sense, rather than attempt to travel there directly, they'll stop at settlements along the way to rest and confirm the route. You said the map led to the Shroud of Samga, yes? That means Balaka's Stand is the closest settlement. I hear many took refuge there during the final days, and it's a bustling town. Oh, she mentioned the final days, so she knows that they exist. The arrival of more people would hardly raise eyebrows, making it the perfect place to avoid unwanted attention while they make ready. We should head there now. Okay. So the reason I say that, Loke, is she just got confirmed to be joint ruler of a nation. We're probably going to head north, right? Like, that's the most logical place to go next. I mean, she's got more to go on than going off and adventuring with us. And also, if I might be so bold, her character arc has concluded. Good arc. I liked where it led. But she's done, yo. Something else, speaking of which. It's dark at night in this game. I was right, Lauren. Many of the youths are carrying pieces of parchment. Those must be the letters. This is a red mage, or more accurately, magical ranged. It seems my reputation has preceded me. Our suspected followers clearly avoid me whenever I try to approach them. Still, we can use this to our advantage. None of them would dare leave Balaka Stand while there's risk I might follow after. I'll keep watch over their comings and goings, but make sure to leave the obvious blind spots. If one of the Justiciar's followers attempts to escape the village, I need you to go after them. And find a vantage point. Okay. Whoop, it's right here. Okay. I mean, I do like continuity. That's how I read my letters. Huh? Yes. This is really evil music for some people who are sneaking out of town to go to, like, a rally. Hi, Zach Taft. Oh my god, it's a follow quest! What is with all the follow quests in Dawntrail? You know what? I am on the trail. I can't argue that. So how much would I charge in order to actually sponsor Raid Shadow Legends? Well, believe it or not, I've put thought into that. $23 million. Now you might think that's insane, but oh god, nope, I got spotted. I actually got stuck on the terrain. That was wild. Yeah, the number, I think the number's actually gone, I think it's like 33 right now or something like that. But so here's the deal, right? Doing so would essentially destroy my career. I would effectively be killing my career in order to do this sponsorship because I would be lying through my teeth and honestly being morally wrong to sponsor them in that video. So I would effectively be ending my streaming career and my capacity to have a job in general in order to do that sponsorship. Consequently, the money I would need in order to be able to justify, literally destroying my stream would be enough to cover my expenses for the rest of my life. Hence, 23 million or 33 million, or whatever it is. I haven't actually recalculated it lately. Several $1,000,000. Why wouldn't I what, Act? Assuming they actually go with it. So that leads me to the second part of the question that Art can unveil. How much do they actually offer me? $160. Now, I may be a cheap whore. Please don't walk into me. Yeah, honestly. End statement. No, little one, sadly. Ninjas literally have a stealth feature, and they can't stealth during these stupid frickin' trailing missions. Yeah, the tilt thing was added this very expansion patch, from what I understand. So you know how I feel bad. I think I made Savacom feel bad. I wasn't trying to make you feel bad, Savacom, if you're even there anymore. That wasn't the goal of that. Well, she'll be nearby, and then I'll finally meet him. Really? This song? What? You're the hero that saved us in the final days. What are you doing here? So you're working alongside the woman I saw. I've heard about the rumors she's spreading, but I had no idea she'd enlisted your aid. Oh, I'm sorry, Safakam. For real, I wasn't trying to push you into a corner or yell you down. You got me on a topic, and I apologize for that. That's my fault. I can't talk. The Justiciar saved me, you see. I was transporting goods for a local merchant who was too miserly to even hire a proper escort. A ferocious creature ambushed me, but my savior appeared from nowhere, and I saw off the beast. I owe my life. That's why I came here, to see if there's any truth to the rumors. But now I understand I'm in over my head. I'm going back home. Here, you can have the map. I trust you to take the measure of the Justiciar. It's nice to actually be respected and trusted. I will say one last thing on the topic. The solutions, right? You know me, I'm an engineer. I tend to think in terms of solutions, because you're actually right. Just cutting taxes for corporations isn't really going to magically fix everything, right? Or sorry, raising taxes for corporations isn't going to actually fix everything, because I kind of said it in the middle of that speech. A lot of corporations just completely bypass taxes because there's so many loopholes by which to do so, right? I actually have put a lot of thought into this, and this is speculation. But I think something that might help is if we stop legally treating corporations as an individual entity. To explain a little bit, let's say for a moment that Rax is in charge of Deathco, and he sells puppy-eating machines, right? Now, yeah, no, you already see where I'm going with this, don't you, Suffolk? Because now Deathco can be held responsible for all of the puppy eating, because Deathco exists legally. It exists as an entity that can be brought to court and can be tried and found guilty. But like, let's say that we go through the whole court process and we bring down Deathco. What consequence does Rax have? Nothing. The corporation may be broken apart and the legal entity may cease to exist, but the people who actually made the decisions to go chew up puppies get away scot-free, because that's by design, right? It's one of the reasons why so many people recommend that if you win the lottery, you make your own shell corporation to distance yourself from your own purchases and sales. Is because now legally, anybody who comes after you is going after the corporation, not you, right? And yeah, sorry. So that's sorry. Sorry, you know me. I'm just really boring. I was thinking in terms of practical application, but you're right. Morally speaking, a corporation, by definition, is something that's it's a program, right? It's a script. Make money at any cost, right? Like that's the loop. I think it was Dream Whisperer mentioned earlier that shareholders can and have sued the boards of their corporations if they feel the board is not being as evil as possible. And that's a simple way to put it, but it's true, right? If you're not avoiding taxes as much as possible, if you're not gouging the customers as much as possible, if you're not, splitting up content into as many things as possible, if you're not trying to if you're not as money grubbing as possible, shareholders can and have gone after boards for that, right? So I think, like, if I could play the minimum change game with reality, I'd get rid of dementia. But then if I could have a second change, I'd get rid of cancer. But if I had a third change, distancing corporations from having legal status as an entity and having people be accountable to the whole things, I think would help. Not sure if that would help. Like I said, it is speculation, but it's something I've put a lot of thought into. Apologies for watching from the shadows. I was afraid my presence might have startled the lad. I was able to hear what he said, though, and his gratitude towards the Justiciar seemed genuine. I dare say the other followers feel similarly. I wasn't going to bring up Reagan on that one, Dream Whisperer, because, yeah. I hate to bash Reagan as much as I do, but you really got to understand that I am continuously shocked at how many problems we're still facing today that can be traced back to Reagan's administration. He was such a stamp, just like an approval stamp for so many people, that a huge number of special interest groups took wild advantage of it. Sorry, that is what I actually meant, Savacom. Where did these rocks come from? Did the treasure cause this? He's got heels. Oh, sorry.
Oh my, if it isn't the hero who saved Radzatan, nay, the world itself.
Actually, I don't mean to quibble. It was actually the entire galaxy.
I never expected someone so vaunted to attend my audiences, but I am honored nonetheless.
Just this glare. We're just glaring. Enough of your games, Virazon. Stop this madness at once.
After giving you such a warm welcome, these are the thanks I get. While 'tis true that I was once known by that name, 'twas merely a guise I wore until I discovered my true self. So long as I am the masked hero at Radzatan, I shall not suffer any to call me Virazon. Yeah.
But that is your name, isn't it? I should have been hiding my face. A hero should take pride in their... I'm not going to click that. Why don't you drop the act and try being a true hero?
A true hero, you say? Indeed. Perhaps casting aside this mask is the price I must pay for the adoration I am due!
Here it comes. It's secretly... some guy. Okay.
Very well. It's Papyrus. My name shall ring through Radzatan. Let it be known, the Justiciar is Virazon, and Virazon is the Justiciar.
Yeah, Spartan, I love you, dude. Pull back a bit, would you, please? What are you saying? You unleashed the perch of the Apex upon your own followers?
You know its name? Wait, I remember you. The girl from Jacques Tural, yes? Yes. Your villager's artifact is not discriminating in its wrath. Some among my followers harbored wicked intentions, and it brought sorrow unto my enemies. The true heart caught the true of heart. His sentence structure. The true of heart caught in the aftermath were merely unfortunate.
But they believed in you, and even though you tricked them, what kind of hero are you? He's about to be a dead hero.
You, too, would oppose me. I had thought as fellow saviors we might find some common ground. Yet it would seem we are destined to walk different paths. But this isn't the level 100 quest yet, so you can't go kill me yet. Now, faced with unknown peril, a great fervor rages within me.
I really hope a rock falls on us and just bounces off of us. It's not going to happen.
Here is not where we shall match wits. No, a more fitting battleground is in order. We shall meet again. You have my word.
Shut up.
Ow!
Okay. So, can you tell us what happened here? He gathered us all around and made a grand speech, claimed he was the hero that would drive back the flood of fiends threatening Thavnair. And he spoke of his anger at recent rumors, so he told us to go forth and repair his damaged reputation so people would love him again. He became quite impassioned, in fact. As for us two, we were here to teach him a lesson, biding our time until his back was turned. But we couldn't stomach his self-righteous drivel any longer. He acts like he's a god come to grace Thavnair, but most people have grown wise to his tricks, including the Radiant Host. We stepped forward and told him as much, demanded he admit he's been pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. That's when he started waving that thing about. We soon learned the rumors of its power were true and rocks started falling around us. I love how low tier this stupid artifact is. That's not actually a joke. I love how ridiculously low tier this stupid artifact is. The Justiciar said such power cannot be fettered and sacrifices are unavoidable, all the while he was laughing. We pleaded with him for mercy, but he just made him angrier. He flourished the object again and more rocks assailed us. It was horrible. Stones, big and small, raining down endlessly. Until you two appeared, that is. Thank you for telling what's happened. I only wish we could have arrived sooner. Now, to set things straight, it was you two that brandished your weapons first, yes? I won't deny that, but we're only trying to bring the truth of his misdeeds to light. Though we might have had some personal scores to settle on top of that. Before I left Balaka's stand, I asked the Radiant Host to look out for anyone returning from the wilderness. I suggest you head there and seek their aid. While there, share with them what you told us. And as for the pair of you, don't even think about running away, or you have us to deal with. Nothing personal, but, you know, I did kind of punch despair in the face. See you around, Archeonville. Thank you, I think, Spartan. Yeah, no, our community is actually quite cool. It's one of the reasons why I felt the need to step in and be like, hold up, hold up. We're all people here. You know what I mean? There's no us versus them here. Everyone has returned to the care of the Radiant Host. As for those ruffians who meant to attack Virazon, seems they had a history of violence for which they may soon answer. Several among Virazon's followers were dealt serious wounds, but we can be grateful none lost their lives. It's exactly as the old saying describes, the master of the apex shall be showered with good fortune. It only leaves sorrow in their wake. Oh well. Come back to me in 2 more levels. Oh, wait, no, we're not there yet. Back to Yedlamad. This is an extremely stupid thing to comment about. Can I just say I love the name Yedlamad? Like, it just rolls right off the tongue. Yedlamad. Anyways, for those of you on YouTube, I apologize for spending like 10 minutes talking about economics. In the middle of the Mage roll quest. Well, that was an ordeal. All the fears got away. She's literally just repeating what we've just been through. Now she's repeating what she just repeated. In order to undertake the subsequent quest, you must first complete the main scenario quest, The Long Road to Jacques Tural. Guys. Okay. It's like, guys. All right. Ding, by the way. Level 100. Prefligence. And that's off of modification. Where the hell do I have modification? There. So that's going to give me... Hang on. One moment. I just want to do something really quick. So I think I already accommodated for how that's going to fit into the rotation. Yeah, 900 potency, by the way. Yep, no, that's exactly how I thought it was going to apply. Okay. Interesting. This. This. Pop ground acceleration. Pop this. Pop combo finisher. Other ground acceleration. And then do that sucker. That's the new one right there. Right at the end. What I thought. Nice. I do, actually, Rex. That's why I wanted to make sure it was macro to the right button. To make sure I can hit it at the right time. Actually, I do. It's right here. So what I like to do, some of you have probably already noticed this, I macro a lot of my cooldowns, but then I also put the actual cooldown, like acceleration and modification are right here. So I can actually see their cooldown ticking down. I know where that button is. This is V, and this is C. But the fact remains, I leave it there just so I can see that cooldown. It's also how I keep track of Imperator, also known as Requiescat, over here. Even though that's actually on B, is actually the button that I used to do that. Sounds like. And notice I've also got Fight or Flight up here, which is actually on 1. And Rampart is up here, even though it's on G. You get it. Well, today, Ruth, I have to go do MSQ. Because this game hates me in particular. God damn it. So, Wuklamot has grown. Koana is now the Dawn Servant. Yep. Yep, everything's cool. Chapter complete. can see all perfectly from up here. It was an impressive speech. I'm not sure I agree with that sentence. No titles. What the ironworks would be that I've got on Bregwin. Like the Tron Ironworks. I'll try to pronounce it correctly. Lamati, I think. I'm not sure why there's an apostrophe there, but whatever. The Eorzean cousins. Yeah, that's them. No, of course not, Blateville, but they really aren't saying anything of word right now, so I'm just kind of skipping past this. Like, this is straight up empty text. Nothing has been said in this conversation, other than that she wants us to call her by Lamati instead of Wuklamat. That's it. I can hear that. Lamati. T. I'm gonna squeeze a Y in there. Right, I can't. Well, here. I also love the shield. Here, check this out. So you can see the shield right now, right? Oh, hang on. Had the angle wrong. So. Completely impractical, but, I mean, I don't care. It looks cool. Our first stop is Auntie's Tacos. Not just for a snack, I promise. Dude, let's just go get some frickin' tacos. Need tacos. It probably is actually fast. It's just wrong. Right. What, bucklers, Sierra? I think so. See you around, Ect. Get some sleeps. Yeah. Where did I find Mr. Red? Well, after I conquered Britain, I was like, alright, Mr. Red, I'm putting you in charge. And then Brexit happened. So I'm a little disappointed, but, you know. Dawn Servant Wuklamat, words cannot express the profound joy your ascension has brought me. No need for formalities. Alright, then I shall forego formalities. God damn it, dude. Ah, but I cannot. You are Dawn Servant. Too disrespectful it is to address you without your due title. As Dawn Servant, I order you to not bother with formalities. Okay. I could more easily converse with a drunken alpaca. Thank you for helping Wuklamat become Dawn Servant. Political opinions in our community have been divided. They've been watching us. But a Dawn Servant's ascension presents us all with a prime opportunity, which is why I convinced everyone to participate in a commemorative sales campaign. Oh, whoops, my face is covered right now. I'll fix it. A wonderful plan. No, my first big undertaking as a merchant. I like the sound of a sale, so long as I'm not persuaded to buy too much. It's good to see you all again. I wanted to personally thank each of you for your help. The feat of reeds, the feat of gold were my first true test as claimant. If not for your guidance, I would have failed the right of succession before I fully understood its importance. Now that you've given me a taste for celebrating culture, I can't wait to see what else Tuliolo has to offer in Jacques-Tural, for instance. As always, you must observe proper etiquette. I would be happy to offer my services as tutor, should you require them. I can think of no better instructor. Your duties as Dawn Servant will be plentiful, but don't forget your promise to attend Ihihana next season. Of course. When I've made a name for myself as a merchant, I'll come by the palace and tell you all about my biggest sales. I look forward to it. I've been personally attending your alpaca's care. Dare we hope to see you at the ranch again? Tell my fluffy, spit-filled friend the Wuklamat will visit soon. Anyway, you have to excuse us. Have you seen Vonjatane around here, have you? Tall, slim fellow, pointy ears. I saw a man matching the description by the weapons dealer in Bayside, in the company of a moblin and a pair of Yakuy, if I remember correctly. Bayside, Levy. Got it. Enjoy the festivities, everyone. And the tacos. A little too loud. They're calling to you, Bragwin. They're singing your name. Right, this is what I was going to do. Yes, update. Hi, Bragwin. See, she looks like an evil empress, and I look like her Darth Vader. I mean, we're literally doing a walkthrough and discussing... This is like the end of Dragon Age Origins. We're walking through, talking with all the people and characters we've met throughout the course of the thing. This is the end of the first arc. Of course she should stop being a character here. I mean that wrong. What I mean is she should stop being in the main characters at this point. Dawn Servant, Lord, you honor us with your presence. Thank you for coming, everyone. I know the journey to Tuliolo isn't a short one. Long road worth the travel to congratulate new Dawn Servants. To hear the head of reason has passed brings me great sorrow, but we who remember him will ensure he lives on. For the accolades of this day be his offering to the future he envisioned. The High Luminary and I attend on the behalf of Warlord's Echo. And if people come en masse, there would have been an obstruction. Nonsense. You're all welcome. All of you. This is your city as much as anybody's. I'm glad to see you hale and whole, Lore. Though I know little of the particulars, I can only imagine your latest adventure has been long and colorful. Beginning with a near shipwreck, if you'll remember. Yet here we stand, celebrating your ascension. When my journey began, I thought only of preserving the peace my father worked so hard to create. But the feat of pots and the feat of proof and the feat of ice show me peace is not merely the absence of war. Being able to live together in peace and happiness, safety and happiness, that's what my father envisioned for this nation. That's the Tuliolo I want for you all. So I promise this, as a Dawn Servant, I'll do everything I can to bring that same happiness to the bandits in Kazamuuka and the Yakuya of Shirogara, Saltern. I won't forsake them. As I was moved by your father's influence, so too may the Chiragur come to accept your peace. Their beliefs have stood for a millennium. While not easily shifted, neither are they immutable. I can be pretty determined. Yeah, I can vouch for the efficacy of such determination. Thanks to the Moblin's hospitality, I've been able to rediscover the joy of my craft and honor my father's legacy. Now the good living is secure village overflows with feel smiles. Such cooperation between help hands and potsworns, very spirit of healthy pot pact. A partnership like yours is bound to be fruitful. I look forward to seeing the fantastic pieces you produce. There's some other people I'd like to see, so we should take our leave. Let's try to find Hunmoru. Those are Brock's rocks? I believe I saw them on the sands below. The Gleam Sands, thank you. I mean, this feels like an epilogue. That's not a complaint. Like, I'm sorry I keep talking this up, but I keep getting more and more worried that the game is just going to trip whenever we hit whatever the second chapter is. Or I guess third chapter, but whatever. Second act. Second arc. Second entry. My, you honor us with a personal visit, Dawn Servant. Congratulations on your ascension. Oh no, none of that. My title have changed, but I'm still just Wuklamat. More than just, I'd say. You've grown into a leader fit for this nation. Your father must be proud. I hope so. But big events like this make me wonder, you know, what my birth parents might say if they knew. I imagine they would say it fills their hearts with joy to see the strong, compassionate woman you've become. I owe my thanks as well for fulfilling your promise to me. I told Bakul Jaja to stay with us so we could correct you to in person, but he marched off, muttering something about not being able to face you just yet. The boy needs purpose. Purpose beyond catering to the demands of others. He was always too obliging for his own good. I'm sure he'll find it in his own time, especially if he knows the family is there for him. Yet we are. By the by, have you seen Ketan Ram anywhere? Or Tankwa, that is? Ketan Ram, was it? A strong name, if a bit exotic. We called upon him before leaving Mamuk, but he wasn't at home. I don't recall seeing him at the ceremony either. First Promise was notably absent as well, though I assume he required time to salve his injured pride. Even though he thought he'd be the one to succeed Papa, my victory must have come as quite a shock to him. As for Tankwa, I'm sure he's around here somewhere. Nope, remember, he dead. We saw that in a cutscene, even. I mean, Endwalker is the superior expansion era. But Shadowbringer's MSQ is probably my favorite MSQ. I was discussing the leveling problem. I'm kidding, when it came to this very game, the alt leveling problem, with a friend of mine last night while we were playing WoW. And they, without any real input from me, came up with the obvious solution that I've already posited with you. Make New Game Plus give experience. Now, hear me out for a second, because it's actually even better of a possible outcome than I was thinking. Because what it is it's time walking, but better. So if those of you not aware, right now in World of Warcraft, you can go talk to Chromie and say, hey, I want to be in Burning Crusade, or I want to be in Pandaria. And you're there. And it's a state of character, right? So, like, you start scaling for those zones, and they give you full experience, and they give you current level gear for whatever your current level is, and you can queue for their dungeons, and you can queue for their raids, right? So you are, for all intents and purposes, shoved into Pandaria in terms of where you're at in the story, and thus in the game as well. The natural benefit of that is if I feel like leveling a character in Pandaria, I can just Chromie time to Pandaria and then do that. Make sense? No, last I checked, they fixed that, Spartan. Although, oh, I know what you're referencing. That's a little bit different, but I don't want to cover that because that's getting into the weeds on that. I need it to be faster, Reeve. So what I would love is the ability to say, you know what, I like Shadowbringers. And so rather than going and mulching my face off for several days trying to level Red Mage, it would have been nice if I could have just gone and done Shadowbringers. If I could have just switched, you know what, hang on, I feel like leveling Red Mage. And then rather than doing the roulettes and doing the Aglaya grind and doing the Cenote grind, we could have just gone, shoved over to Shadowbringers and just started pushing through the MSQ in New Game Plus mode and level that way. So there's actually another benefit of that, and that's the fact that you can skip cutscenes in this game. Now, what I mean by that is if you're not really interested in re-seeing the story, you can smash through MSQ in this game extremely quickly because you can skip everything, right? So just skip, yep, skip, yep, skip, yep, next location, skip, yep, skip, yep, skip, yep. So if all you're interested in is just the leveling, then smashing through an expansion would be a relatively quick way to level. Or you could play your favorites, like I just mentioned with Shadowbringers, and actually enjoy the story again and gain the benefit of leveling the alt while doing so. So it's even better than I was already thinking it would be. But no. Instead, New Game Plus gives you nothing whatsoever, and that continues to confuse me because it's clearly a choice, but I don't understand it at all. Wait, what? The Lul Jaja offered to... Oh, yeah, okay, cool. You're back. Aaronville was just regaling us the stories of Lamati from when they were little. What, the one about the taco? It was basically clean when I found it. Or the one about Papa's feathers. Look, I didn't know where else to wipe my nose. I was too little to know any better. There are rumors that Gulu Jaja may go on a pilgrimage now that he's no longer Dawn servant, though I'm sure the transition will keep him in the capital for some time yet. Welcome back. Hope you didn't rush on our account. Kinda did. Only kind of. I don't know, Fife.
Seen everyone you wanted to see?
I have. Sorry for keeping you all. Now, there's just one last matter. What Kona spoke to you about. I'm sure he made it abundantly clear, but I'm completely serious. I want you to stay in Tulihiola with me.
No. Absolutely not.
I'm not forcing you, of course, but should you wish it, you'll always have a place here. Ah, that's right. This is for you. A permit granting passage to Shatural, which, as I recall, you've yet to see. An adventurer like you could hardly resist, no? I can't believe our journey is over already.
Visit, sure. Stay, no.
You accepted me as a comrade and stood with me to the end.
Like, she's even saying goodbye. This is
You have
clearly...
my eternal gratitude. Thank you. Well, I had better get going. I need to start learning all my official Dawn servant duties. I'll be sure to share what my old man says about the Golden City too, once he tells me. Till then, feel free to pass the time as you like.
For now, I will remain in Tural. There's someone I'd like to see before returning to Sharlayan.
What about the rest of you?
Alize and I also intend to remain a while longer. As educational as this experience has been thus far, we feel there are even more lessons to be had for Garlemald. By hearing about the peace your father facilitated, and then seeing you reforge relations with Mamuk, we were reminded of a profound truth. That is, acceptance begins with understanding.
And, like you demonstrated throughout the rite, there are unexpected yet effective ways for two sides to understand each other. The question is how to encourage it, and by seeing more of this nation born of unity, we hope to find some hints.
Personally, I can hardly wait to learn more about the City of Gold. So, if I may, I'd like to stay in Tuliyolal as well.
By all means, your rooms are at your disposal for as long as you need them.
And what of you? Thinking of touring Shaktural, perhaps?
I've got some other quests to do.
Then perhaps we could travel together?
Yeah, I've got some other quests to do.
The person I intend to meet is my mentor, so I'll be visiting my hometown in Shaktural. If you have no particular destination in mind, I'd be happy to guide you en route.
Then it's farewell for now.
Bye.
Take care, all of you.
But the good news is I'm not going there, Spartan. Bad news is that I'm still on the first role quest because I had to do MSQ and leveling to get here.
When you're ready, come and meet me at the XIV Skygate.
We're friends to the end, you hear me? Friends to the end!
Who is she again? I'm actually anticipating that at this point, little one. I've already decided I'm just going to throw up my hands and say screw it if that ends up being the truth. So, Mr. Ed, I'm an idiot. I don't actually understand your intended compromise there. Like, are you just suggesting that there needs to be an inverse rest state for getting experience on New Game Plus? The Techno Union is at your disposal, Count. So you can only do it once a month. God, that sounds terrible, actually. For me, personally. It would also depend on how much experience a given expansion gives. Or, I shouldn't actually say expansion. No, where's the button? There it is. Because it's not per expansion, isn't it? Not really. It's per part. So, what would really matter is how much experience a given part gives. Because, like, for example, I'm never replaying this crap right here. Maybe this stuff. And it would be nice to replay this stuff, but again, I never will, because there's no reason to. And this stuff can all go to hell. And maybe, like, some of this stuff over here. And maybe some of this stuff over here. I don't know. I guess, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Why limit it? What's the benefit of doing so? I'm too stupid to understand why there would be a purpose in limiting it. Yep, here it comes. This is the Meanwhile Elsewhere where everything goes wrong. Meanwhile Elsewhere. I freaking call it. I mean, I guess the benefit is it makes you have to play the game for longer. So, in other words, no benefit at all. I do like being punched in the gut, Yosinkorp. So, to be quite frank, Mr. Ed, what you're describing is time walking from WoW. For an expansion instead of dungeons, but it fills this exact same slot. This is the gate to the Golden City. 2 decades ago, your father bade me transcribe a letter to a scholar across the salt petitioning a study of this place. What he discovered was something the Dawn Servant feared enough to seal away forever. Or so we thought until the right's objective became the City of Gold. But to think Tanqua would be entrusted with its safekeeping. Had I known that doddering old fool carried a set of keystones, we might have spared ourselves those tiresome feats. Great power sleeps here, and with it you shall obtain your birthright. So you say, yet the new Dawn Servant succeeded where I could not. Taking their throne will be no easy task. The resilient son underestimates his own potential. There's no need for worry. What the hell is that? I have liberated the key from the Dawn Servant's vault. You alone have the means to unlock the gate. You will gain all you were denied. The right, your father's shade, these bitter memories all soon forgotten. Seize your future, promise. Open the gate and become the ruler you were destined to be. I see where you're going with that, Mr. Ed, but I will admit, I would hate that personally. And I don't have to point to anything other than what I've been doing over the last 2 weeks to explain why. Alright, well, I leveled Red Mage. Now to go do roulettes. And Aglaya over and over again. Is some there? Can you hear me? At last. Who's there? Show yourself. If only I could. Alas, the gate will not open for me. Only the key in your possession can connect us. I said personally, Blade Traval. Then you are the guardian of the city's great power? I do not claim this power is great, but the knowledge I possess is enough to realize any desire. To remake worlds. Is that so? Evil laughter. Fascinating. Name your price, then, for my desire is the world itself. Yes, yes, the resilient sun rises. Together, we should create a nation worthy of our rule. I mean, we all saw this coming. Why? Idiot. The useless tool is cast aside. Deliver me a new world, one that bends to my will. As you wish, but in exchange... Okay. If I could also continue to complain about that potential compromise, there's one last reason I don't like it, and it's the exact same reason I don't like time walking over in WoW. Well, ignoring the obvious FOMO stuff, let's ignore that for a moment. Let's put it into simple perspective. If you want to level, you can do so under these times, under these circumstances. If you don't have time, or more contrarily, if you do have time, sucks to be you. Your schedule has to bend to the game's schedule in order to level. Now, that's actually already kind of true in FF14. There's not a lot of potential for no-lifing, at least not unless you want to spend entirely too much time in the doing. And that irritates me regardless, because I have a job. Granted, I work more than most people, but still, most people have 40-hour work weeks who don't have tons and tons of time when it's convenient to go level. Sometimes people set aside a weekend, and sometimes people want to just smash through a quest or a class during a weekend. And if you can't, well then that sucks. So no, I reject your compromise. I fling it out the window. And I stab you, Mr. Ed! This is for Brexit! This is for... Oh, sorry. Let's see. Zelda games with too big of a map. Let me think about that for a second. This is going to sound strange, Blade to Fall, but why is that a bad thing? Like, what's the detriment of implementing something that would actually be easier to implement, that would benefit a greater body of people, even if it only really benefits a smaller body of people?
Shall we then?
Like, adding exp to New Game Plus is the easiest thing in the world to do. It would probably take someone an afternoon to do that. Right? Adding an entirely new mechanism, which only gives certain amounts of exp at certain points of time, or has a rotating schedule per expansions, or allows it so that you have essentially a time-walking system where certain expansions get benefits at certain months, is a lot more work. You are asking for the additional work, not me. Like, forgive me, but I don't actually understand your point here.
On the far side of that great bridge unfolded the wilds of Shaloni, where the sun guides in the Shatona tongue. A harsh guide, to be sure, with its blazing rays scorching the land and hardening its inhabitants. But sweeping change had come to the arid expanse when...
They have ceruleum here?
Vast deposits of ceruleum were discovered. Embracing this opportunity, Vau Kona's supporters...
Oh my god.
Driven by dreams of a future illuminated by blue flame. It is here that our journey continues, our path taking us along wending roads of steel. Each length of track a declaration of hope and ambition.
I mean, we're transitioning to North America. That makes sense. So now we're in the Old West.
My home, Yasulani, lies past Shaloni. It will be a long journey, but the railroad should make it easier. As for the way to the train station, let's ride these fellows, shall we?
Now that's an interesting point, Blade Taval. So let me ask openly and freely. Who here has a legitimate point and argument behind not wanting to give experience to New Game Plus? I don't mean that facetiously. I don't mean that as a negative thing. I'm looking for actual feedback. Because I lack the ability to understand a negative there, so I need external opinions to give me such a perspective. No, I have to do this quest, Linareth. It's the one I'm on right now. So we're going to have to wait for a Runik. That's the buffaloes. Excuse me, the not buffaloes. They're usually so docile. The ones I saw earlier weren't healthy either, but much has changed since I was last here. Yeah, see, Cordoon brings up an interesting point, but trusts already fulfill that slot of discouraging you from doing stuff. A little bit, but we'll just know. You offer it's appreciated, but I don't think my friend is particularly concerned about the wildlife. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think queues have gotten worse since Trust, but I don't know that. The Ronik, Aaronville, the Ronik. Okay, fine. If we were to give you the authentic Shalawani experience, I suppose it's worth the wait. I do like a desert that's not a boring wasteland. Yeah, and at that point, why even bother, right, Cordoon? I will admit, I am looking at this from a perspective of myself, someone who has self-control. And I know that sounds like a weird way to say that, but what I mean by that is I have the ability to do multiple different types of content in order to level because, you know, doing the most efficient thing is not necessarily fun. I mean, just smashing through Aglaya over and over and over again gets very old. Oh my god. Hold on. Second, so we've got Mr. Red there. With a frickin' sawed-off. Or a blunderbuss, I'm not actually sure which. There's Zira. As usual. Got the American stylings there. Cyber Bragwin, as it should be. And, oh, I got two more over here. And then we've got Mr. Red. Sorry, I don't know why I said Mr. Red. That's Rax. That's Reximus over there. Just kind of... Howdy, partner. And then Yada, who is a mage. And there's no Giga here. So that's good. Thank goodness. Wait, and also, I forget who you are, but someone else. Which, that's actually a really nice outfit. That looks like the, what's her name? Ashe from Overwatch? Something like that. Yes, Gandalf made his way out west. Let's turn this in really quick. Yep. Oh my god, I just want to go back to the roll quest! I hate you, game! I hate you!
Well, well. It's become a proper town. Hey!
Now hold on a minute.
Some sort of trouble.
Look, my machinist is too low level, 5. I didn't level it. I leveled Dancer like an idiot.
I'm talking to you, you old bastard.
Give me strength. For the last time, the investigation is closed. There's no refuting the evidence.
They've even got the accent.
I don't give a shit about your evidence, you lying scum. You release my friends, or I'll make you wish you had.
Let me remind you who the scum is here. Your friends, who had the temerity to point their firearms at me, the Deputy Chief of the Dust Watch. And after taking them into custody, what should we discover but incontrovertible proof that they had committed larceny? They will not be released until they've paid for their crimes.
I'd heard the peacekeeping force had been formed to deal with growing lawlessness. Seems the situation is bad indeed.
Still can't get up a fuss, eh? Sounds like poor Zekua needs his bottle.
Sure he wouldn't prefer his mama's teat? Treat me like a child, will you? My friends haven't done anything wrong, damn it! They've been framed!
Oh, stubborn little runt. Listen here, Zekua. If you want to be treated like an adult, then you'd best comport yourself like one. That means respecting the rule of law. Order may be precarious here in Shaloni, but it can be had if each man does the right thing. And for those that don't, well, they have to answer to the Dustwatch. Now run along and think before you cast aspersions next time. Lest you hurt my feelings.
Fine! If that's how it's gonna be.
I wouldn't if I were you.
What are you doing here?
Is that?
There's a time to fight and a time to withdraw. For you, that's now.
What?
The spear slinger.
What are you doing, Zekawa? You better not be stirring up trouble.
Wahute! You sack of Ronek shit! This ain't over! You hear me?
I love that. The Wild Westinian.
You want to tell me what that was about?
Nothing that need concern you, sir. Zekawa is simply struggling to come to terms with the low character of his friends. But for good measure, I'll have the men keep an eye on him.
Yes, you do that.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll go make my rounds.
Actually, kind of ditto, Rax. I mean, I've always loved the Western vibe, the atmosphere of it. It's weirdly underrepresented for how common it used to
I
be.
wasn't expecting to see your faces among the crowd. Talk is rife there's a new Dawn servant. Take it you found it then. The Golden City.
Aye, the contest is over. And as I needed to return home to Yasulani, I offered to show our friends some of Shaktural. What brings you north?
Nothing in particular. Just seeing what there is to see.
Wherever the wind blows, huh? Wild Westinian.
Gulul Jaja compensated me rather generously for our duel. I'll be able to enjoy a comfortable life on the road for the foreseeable future.
Spoilers, he's actually already out of money. He spent everything at the first stall here.
I shall be moving on. Oh, by the way, I recommend you try the Sabatender. They may not look it. They're surprisingly delicious.
Do they go in a salad? Or like a skewer?
But we don't serve Sabotender here.
I mean, grilled cactus is actually legit. But no, I find this doubly funny because I was just talking about a month ago about how much I want an Old West Zelda. So he's explaining what a duel is. And we're done. Okay. Why was that the requirement to do the freaking roll quest? That is so confusing. Also, I feel a strange desire to suddenly be walking around like this. What's doubly funny is my outfit's already ready to go. Like, it's a little more steampunk than Old West, but it'll fit at a pinch. I've even got a real gun instead of a crazy gun. Check it out. Yep. Ready to hit the old dusty trail. Along with my posse. Here, let's line up. No, hang on. Right over here. In front of the saloon. this. Literally got a suppressor on this thing. Line up, line up. There we go. What's the get rid of HUD button? Because I don't remember. I almost never use it. Okay, I love Yada's new outfit. Scroll lock. That was scroll lock. It's a button I use all the time. There it is. Found it. Okay. Hang on, Bragwin's not over here. Yeah, where's Maverick? Yeah, let's zoom in a little bit. Bragwin! Bragwin! Giga! Maverick! I figured out why trusts haven't eaten into roulettes, I think. I have a theory on the matter. Roulettes give tomestones. I think that's one of the things that is continuing to keep roulettes alive. Probably a good idea, too. Make sure that people will always have at least some kind of motivation to keep doing those, even if they're not leveling something. Sure, trusts are slower, but they're also more reliable, especially if you're a DPS. And especially if you play at unusual hours. To use a specific example of that, I myself tended in the past to try and get stuff done in the morning, and I failed miserably at that, because the morning queues on this server are terrible. Nobody does this. Nobody does anything in the morning. So I just couldn't get any work done. Couldn't get any roulettes done. So morning would be a perfect time for trusts, right? But in the evening, people are on. So, yeah. Okay, Bragwin's asleep and Giga's not here. It's time to do it without Giga. Alright. Yeehaw! Woo! Gonna send ourselves up a posse. And we're gonna kill everyone. Starting with Giga. This is what you get, Giga, for playing that dragon, them there Dragon Age. I really hate what they did with the YouTube app. So they added a community tab, so I can't go to my comments, which is the only thing I care about. And so I have to go to the community tab, then go to comments, then set the filter, then see the comments. And if I want to leave the comments, I have to go back to the community tab. It's not really a big deal. It's actually only about 4 additional button presses each thing. But, god dang it. Alright, time to leave without the Giga Pudding, because she's taking too long. Ain't no Giga Pudding around here. By the way, Giga, we're in instance number 2. I actually already saw it, Zero. But it's neat and all, but I prefer something my own style for the thumbnail. Yeah, you go to the Aetheryte and change instance or change something is an option when you click the Aetheryte. I mean, it's a pretty photo, but I want something for a thumbnail. That's why I haven't moved the camera. This is almost perfect. Although I could scooch it a little bit, like that. There we go. Giga! Where are you? Where are you, Giga? Where are you? Oh, there she is. Okay. There we go. Okay. So. I was waiting for people to get here, Shadow Machine. Okay, so Giga's here. Bragwin's still asleep. Oh, Bragwin woke up. Get in the line. Get in the posse. Okay, so let's do like a little bit further out. There we go. Like that. Shoot, what's print screen? I guess we'll just do this. Time to bring you in, Despair. You done wrong by us for the wrong... Up there's Lunarith. Hang on. But Lunarith... No! You're not Westerny! No! Yeah, actually, it's getting close to daylight, so I might wait a minute anyways. Oh my god. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to keep the camera here for a second. And meanwhile, Maverick is like, gosh darn it. You ever see the movie Maverick? A really good film. Weirdly good. I never expected a film about poker would be good, but there it is. Do me a favor, especially if Spartan's gonna get in. Everyone scooch a little bit closer to me. We're a little bit too spread out. So like Yada and Rax scooch a bit closer to me, and then Mr. Red and Zero scooch a little bit further in. So you can make a little bit more room here. There we go. Yeah, it's the old Mel Gibson film. Let's see, it's Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, I think? And the actual guy from the Maverick show. Like I said, weirdly good film. Come on, where's the sun? It's 6 in the morning in oh no, that works, Linarith. I like it. Yeah, get all real familiar like. And yeah, it looks like now we'll have a spot for Spartan on my right. If Spartan will ever show up. No, we got one more coming, Shadow Machine. I'm kind of waiting for the sun to come out. Or Linarith could just fit, and now Spartan could go on my left. Although she's not in the line. You gotta get in the line. She's being a rebel. She's a rebel without a cause. A rebel without a corn servant. Does that get rid of the names? It does. Okay, good. Yeah, I like how Gig is a farmer. Then again, I also like how Yada's a frickin' lumberjack. Where's, what is that staff? Oh, I see it. Wow. Yeah, Mr. Red's an outlaw. Rax is the sheriff, straight up. Like, look at him. Me, I'm the PC. I'm the steampunk Western guy. I mean, look at me, right? Yeah, Mr. Red's the desperado. Rax is the sheriff. Let's see, Zira. Yeah, no, I'm the guy from the big city. I came down here with all my big city ways. Doc Brown. You know what? I like that even better. I'm Doc Brown. I can hit the fleas off of a dog's back from 500 yards. And I'm pointing straight at your head. Okay, so then Zira... I don't know, Zira strikes me as like the local mogul. Yeah. Like you're in charge of the casino and you use that to build your criminal empire. Mr. Red's actually one of your chief enforcers. I cannot believe it's taking you this long, Spartan. I'm just sitting here waiting patiently like, come on. Any day. It's been an hour in game at this point. And then, who is that? Who is Jadasalin Ginwa? I don't know who that is. That's Wenlock. Okay, so Wenlock's also from the city, but like is here specifically to be the new deputy, right? And then Bragwin over there is actually an alien who's like trying to blend in with the rest of the crowd, and so she's here like she loves the way. No, she's a tourist. She's actually shown up as like because she just loves the Western aesthetic. So she's just like, hey, yeah, exactly. She's like, yep, computer, replicate me some period appropriate clothing. Yeah, and if you're fighting innocents, then that's a long fight too. I like Rax's pose in the G pose 0. I'm just all boring like. But Rax is like, I'm gonna shoot you down. Oh, there's Pillars of Snow. So Pillars of Snow, first of all, aim a little bit more this way, Pillars of Snow. Towards the camera. It's a little more to your right. And yeah, Bragwin's just a tourist. You're right, this way. You don't have to move, just tilt, just twist. There we go. It's wabbit hunting season. Okay, so Pillars of Snow over there. Let's see, where do they going on? Pillars of Snow is actually the deputy from another town over, who was asked over as a personal favor by Rax, in order to try and help deal with Zira. Because Mr. Red has been causing so many issues around here that they need to deal with all that. And Lunarith is actually the PC. I'm not the PC. Lunarith is from a completely different area. She's just like, I got this. I'm here to clean up this town. No. She's actually not here to clean up. That's my job. She's here to pass through. Like, Lunarith is just passing through. And she was like, this is a nice place. And then she pulls out her death sword. I mean, that does fit Bragwin. Oh, hey, there's the sun. Holy crap. Oh, God, my eyes are actually adjusting because of how dark that's been. Oh, that's much better, though. Look at that. Artificer Cowboy does sound kind of awesome. And basically describes a machinist, right? There's no invite. Just come to the zone, Spartan. And hit instance 2. It's the, I don't know the name of the zone. Kusatawi, it looks like. Oh yeah, Mr. Red is just like, oh, I'm gonna string you up by I'm gonna use your guts for garters. Yeah. I'm gonna shove my gun. It looks like you're using that sawed off, so like, I'm gonna shove this gun straight down your throat. You got about 5 seconds to tell my boss what she wants to know. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to pull this here trigger as many times as I can, because I want to see the rest of you come out the back. And that's what Mr. Red's talking like, because that's just Mr. Red's personality in general. In real life. We also have a visiting samurai over there. I'm going to introduce your insides to a little bit of fresh air. I saw that, Mad Overlord. I've heard good things. I like the music out here, too. Yeah, I'm waiting because I need Spartan to be here first. I suppose I could just do it now. There's no reason to wait. But I wanted to check the names to make sure it was actually Spartan. There's someone changing appearance like right off camera over there. And OMG is just there trying to photobomb. Also, my sister is photobombing me, I just noticed. Look at her. Right in the front. It's like that thing where a kitten thinks that the whole parade is for them because they accidentally got on the float. And they're just, like, basking the attention. Wait, where are you at? Where are you at? I don't see you. I don't see you, Spartan. You're not in the shot. You gotta get in the shot. I'm not moving the camera. This is a perfect angle and everything right now, so I ain't moving the camera at this point. Spartan's like, I can't move closer to the camera. Because I'm camera shy. Yeah, Spartan is Judsia. That's the right character. There you go. Okay, okay. Alright, so we finally have... Let's wait for the pose to go off here. I could use G pose, but I just want to get a natural pick first. Grab this. And this. Oh my god, my sister's photobombing me again. Get off the screen. Hang on. Come here. There we go. There we go. I just need to go back to my natural pose. And we're good. Paste. That, oh, that looks legit. I like that. Perfect. And OMG is just like, hello. Actually, I got it right when OMG was off camera. So OMG is actually not going to be photobombing. That's great. Apparently we'll have some interesting poses set to that. Look at Gigas. Oh my god. We've got to have some Western. I've got a level machinist now. No, no. Why, game? Why do you hate me so much? Uh-oh. I mean, okay. We've spent enough time here. Oh, hang on. I've been asked to get back in the line. Okay. Yeah, Machinist is pretty legit right now. Let's see. I haven't even looked at the new stuff. Interesting. By the way, we apparently have a new buff called Full Metal Machinist. You know what? That's true. I'm so stupid. You know what I should have used as my outfit here? I mean, if you think about it, this is a little bit more Western than my machinist outfit is. Oh, Jesus, Talia. I hope that's fixed soon. Okay, hang on. One more picture. Just the hell of it. Do a slightly different angle on this one. There we go. Okay, there we go. Cool. Got it. Okay. Okay, so that's... I'm just gonna put these out here for posterity. No, I have a good Sam outfit. What are you talking about? I have the Sam outfit. Okay, let me set this up. Yeah, credit to Rax, as usual. So I'm not actually going to use this for today's VOD, because we're doing roll quests today. that. I'll go and share both possibilities here. You gotta give me a second to make these. There we go. Oh, nope. And I'm getting sparked a little bit too off on the edge there. There we go. That's hilarious. You need to go do this MSQ. God damn it, is my thought. Meanwhile, Rax is like, God, this is my chance. There we go, right about like that, I think. I'm not sure which one I'll go with yet, but I'll share both perspective thumbnails in Discord. Pretty much alongside the ones that Zero just did. Okay. So anyways, I have role quests to go do now. See if I can at least finish one of these today. Christ. That's over here. And you know, there's one thing objectively I think is worse about role quests, and I mean that sincerely. Class quests, if you check in the upper left underneath next scenario quest, next domain scenario quest, there's a thing that says here's your next class quest, but these aren't class quests. These are role quests. So they are not there. Now, I happen to remember where I was because I just did it, but like imagine if I took a week off or a month off or whatever. Where the hell? There we go. Nice ride there, Giga. Boring red mage. I feel boring now. It seems Virazun has been laying low since our last encounter. Yeah, well, I had to go off to unlock the next continent for some reason. I'm sad to say, however, my investigation has uncovered little, but there's still little cause to celebrate, for I've received a letter from my mother with good tidings. My father has finally awakened after the grievous wound dealt to him by Virazun. He's traveled well enough to travel to Tuliolo. Okay. Of course, I'd love nothing more to go to him, but I pledged not to return until I had the perch of Apex in hand. Besides, I'm soon to depart after the Radiant Host to try and sniff out Virazun's whereabouts before he acts out of desperation. That's why I ask you to go in my stead. As the treasure's guardian, no one living is more knowledgeable about its history than me. Okay. Sure. It's like, why did I have to... Whatever. Yep, I had to go to Jacques Toral to be able to go to Tuliolo. That's interesting. Oh my god, it's terrifying. Alright, where am I going? Anyways, thank you for the picture, everyone. Sorry, I didn't actually vocalize that, but I love those little moments like that. I'm a weirdo. I mean, you noticed what the thumbnail was for the first VOD, right? Glad to hear my letter arrived safely, and Tepeke seems to be as tenacious as ever in her search. Her father's already arrived, but he's barely stayed in one place since. He seems desperate to help Tepeke from a distance in whatever way he can. He told me he was traveling to the plain in search of information. He's up here. Why would you do that, game? See, I actually suspected this was the reason. But like, oh hey, it's deja vu. Uh-oh, the Reapers found me. Alright, Giga, let's do it. Let's hit the old dusty trail. Head north. Here, hang on, here. Here, Giga. Jesus, Melkorblade. Look at how I'm riding in this thing, by the way. Just... Well, I don't have a soothing voice, but what I do have is me riding on a tractor that can fly. What the hell is this thing? Yeah, the role quest sent me here. This is the role quest that I'm doing right now. Cerulean smoke at high noon. Giga's the smart one. She's the one who brought a frickin' umbrella. Thank you, traveler. I overextended myself. I've but recently recovered from a severe injury and was a fool to confront such a beast alone. I mean, you say that, Linarith, but I'm going to disagree because, and we talked about this literally yesterday, the only reason it's a requirement is because the writers made it a requirement, right? They could have easily put this quest anywhere else. But no, they decided to put it here because that way you would have access to this zone for some reason. This actually feels like something they didn't even think about. They were just like, oh yeah, let's put this here. And nobody actually thought about where it should go or why. Yeah, that's actually legitimately what I'm expecting. Talia. So as the nations of Tural were unified, some left the village to build new homes in the city. I've sought them out to see if they know anything of use. Unfortunately, none of them could offer insight into the treasure's magics, but one told me of the owls that lurk in this place. And since the Tural Vidral sealed within the perch of the apex was once an owl, it seemed logical to pursue such a quarry. I thought I could glean something about the ancient beasts from their behavior. Like as not, some fundamental aspects remained the same even after transformation. But having heard your account, there's one fundamental difference that stands out. As far as I'm aware, no native owl possesses the ability to hurl rocks, large or otherwise. No doubt the Tural Vidral gained this power following its metamorphosis. I do believe, however, they would retain an owl's core instincts. That one you fought didn't strike unprovoked, instead watched me from afar with fear in its eyes. Well, this is normal behavior for most animals. I was surprised by how suddenly it descended upon me the moment I started approaching. Yeah, it sensed and attacked preemptively. I had the same thought. The owl sensed a threat and chose to confront it rather than run. And the same impulse may have driven the Tural Vidral. Indeed, that correlates with something I heard from my countrymen. No hunter's arrow could fell the apex. It was struck down in a storm of its own wrath, made wild by a heart of fright. Thus was it sealed away at last. Now, judging from the owl's behavior, I can theorize that the treasure is activated when its bearer senses danger. And according to the story, this power can easily get out of hand if its bearer is panicked. Of course, this theory must be tested. Virazin will certainly use the perch again, and when he does, pay attention to the circumstances leading to its activation. Okay? That was all, honestly, meaningless information that I didn't have to do an entire MSQ chain and go across the world for. But thanks, I think. Let me go back to Radz-at-Han. Thankfully, I can actually teleport in lore. Because otherwise, this would be a multi-day trip, and I'd have the FF16 problem all over again. Lore! Virazin has shown his face. Alright, let's go kill him.
Are you surprised? Thanks to the sage counsel of a fellow hero, I have decided to doff my mask. Although my face may be unfamiliar, I believe you know who I am. I was once to the Justiciar, but you may call me Virazun. I am Thavnir's protector, its savior, its hero. You may have heard salacious rumors that I have orchestrated the very attacks which I have so valiantly driven back. That was behind the catastrophe at the Uznir canals. I'm here to assure you, those are false aspersions all, cast by those who are envious of their betters. I give my life for this fair sea and its people, and I would give more still if I could.
Wait, really, Rax? Okay. What should we do? It might be best to lock him up before this gets out of hand. We don't want him raining rocks with all these bystanders around. Oh yeah, concern for innocence. Yeah, that sounds like...
All I ask is your respect, your adoration, a dream held by all but realized only by few. And I would be one of those few. I have proven myself worthy of being your savior, and now, with an entire city watching with bated breath, I shall declare my intent to reach even higher. Yes, for I can protect you all as better as your ruler. I shall retire the mantle of hero and take up the crown as King of Radzatan. Yes, you should make me your king, because I'm just, look, I'm great, okay? My dick is so big, okay? It's so huge. I wield power unassailable. Oh my god, dude. With me on your throne, you would never again have cause to fear.
They had a dragon. In this setting, they had a dragon.
All would live in peace. All would shower me with love. They would shout it to the heavens. And from that love would spring a new Radzatan, a greater Radzatan. We will make Radzatan great again.
Enough of your lies, Virazun. The power you wield protects none but yourself. For everyone else, it brings only ruin.
Of course, the road to greatness is paved with necessary sacrifices.
I'm going to quote Dragon Age 2 for a second. Why is it the people who always talk about sacrificing for their greater good never sacrifice from themselves, only others?
If so long as your ruler lives, Radzatan shall know naught but prosperity.
You think you're better than Master Vitra? He bore the city and its people on its back while you look fit to collapse under the weight of your own armor. You're no leader, you're a damn joke.
Does this man speak for you all? Is there not one among you who would follow me into a brighter future?
Yeah, about 71 million people.
But I am nothing if not magnanimous. Until you find the wisdom to accept me as ruler, I shall continue to stand vigilant as your eternal shield.
Stop this, Virazun. You're only making it worse for yourself.
Father.
Can't you see you've become a laughingstock? Give up this facade and answer for your sins. Do so now, and the Radiant Host may yet grant you mercy.
My sins? Are you the one poisoning the people against me? Do your worst, I say. It'll only make me more powerful.
I know not what is in your heart, but please end this madness. End it and return to me, my son. And then he kills his dad. Don't get any closer. You two, why are you...
I am super strong. I can cast a basic... okay, in fairness, this is not, like, super small tier, but, like, come on.
One guy with an arrow would end this. Don't. If we fight here, there's no telling how many innocents will be wounded.
Pathetic as ever. I tire of this farce. I have declared my intent to become king. As for you two, this is no place for a battle between heroes. We shall meet again, mark my words, and then we will decide who is mightier. Spoilers, it's not me.
Nah, I got this, don't worry. Why is this the mage quest? What about this screams mage to you? Yeah, that's, I was gonna say. So we studied the rock, and that's actually kind of it, really. You're right, of course. As much as I hate to see Virzun walk free, we've got to ascertain the extent of his power. I noticed that despite all of his proclaimed love for its people, it didn't even look back at them as he retreated. Maybe we couldn't bear to look in the eyes, or one of them at least. See, I learned something today. He's a Nepo baby. I mean, he is. That's not even a joke at this point. And we need to learn this brand new spell. It's called Stupidity. Hildebrand shows up. I know that spell! That was a disaster. Virzun is truly lost. At the very least, he's committed himself to fomenting unrest within Radzatan. Although he's my son, I cannot condone his actions. His words are grand but empty, and that ridiculous armor is nothing more than a gaudy decoration. He truly is the embodiment of false heroism. What's more, this latest debacle has made him a criminal in the eyes of the Radiant Host. All I can now is beg them to grant my son some small degree of clemency. Before we go, can I ask you something? After Virzun called down the rocks, did you see his expression? I thought it peculiar, but I'm curious what his father saw on that face. That was a familiar look. When I used to scold him for losing himself in make-believe, he would get the same cast in his eyes. A look of petulant rage, as if he resented me for pulling him out of his reverie and into harsh reality. He hasn't changed. Yeah, he's a Nepo baby. We just talked about this. Come on, dude. Keep up, keep up. Just as I thought, even clad in shining armor, he can't bear to be told no. Now his childish games have taken a malevolent turn. But now, back to Yedlamad, and go gain 2 more levels, and then advance the MSQ to the quest Dawntrail. In order to progress... I'm just waiting for it. I'm just waiting for it at this point. Damn it, Giga. There's always a quest named the expansion. For those of you not aware, there's always a quest at the end of the launch MSQ called the expansion name. There's a quest called Heaven's Word. There's a quest called Stormblood. There's a quest called Shadowbringer. There's a quest called Endwalker. And there's probably a quest called Dawntrail. I don't remember if there's a Realm Reborn. Now that we have some room to breathe, I'd like to hear about this journey to Toral. Did your father have anything to share? Frankly, no. It responds to emotion, not intent. Yep, we already figured that out. He goaded the Radiant into apprehending him because he knew the threat would be answered. You saw how nonchalantly he quit the plaza, almost as if defying someone to touch him. He believes himself untouchable. I think his words and deeds align with the theory well enough. But there's a curious fragment of the story. It seems to imply that Tural Vidral lost control in a panic. Perhaps its strength grows in proportion to the danger it senses, and when the danger is too great, you saw what happened at the Uznair canals at Radzatan. You were present both times, as were others who wished him ill. Both times we saw stones much larger than we've seen before. Now I understand why he's so eager to face you. An opponent of your caliber will strike fear into Virzun's very core, and that fear will summon a power greater than anything he's known, power enough to bring a hero to its knees. Or so he thinks, but we know better. We'll use his arrogance to our advantage. Although we may have to contend with falling rocks for a time. In a straight fat match, he'll be outmatched. Yeah. Okay, so we'll kill him and she'll be our tank. Done. This is still a vacation. We're still just playing along because this is fun. Thin slices of Ronique chuck, seasoned and slow roasted for hours. Oh my god. Last one. You'll be pleased to know that Radiant hosts were most helpful in finding a place fit for the duel. When I saw it, even I began to believe our encounter would be one for the songs. Yeah, exactly, Blade 12. Normally, this is going to sound weird, but if this was the role quest of Endwalker, or Shadowbringers, or even Stormblood, I'd probably be kind of irritated. Because it's like, why are we doing this? We've got much bigger and more pressing matters to be dealing with right now, you know what I mean? Here, this is quite literally a vacation. I know we keep saying it, but it keeps being true. We're just chilling. So it's like, hey, there's a guy with an ancient, powerful artifact. Okay, that sounds like fun. You don't understand. It's so incredibly powerful. Huh? Yeah, yeah. He could cause mass devastation with it. Sure, sure. Whatever you say. Anyways, it seems your name is on the lips of all and the sundry. The people are already considering you the true savior of Radzahan. That's funny, because I am. Although Vitra gets credit for there, as well as Mattia. We apologize for putting so much weight on your shoulders, but something tells me you're used to it. The final showdown shall take place in the mountain pass, leading to Khadga, where great crystals will stand as witness to its conclusion, suitably romantic and suitably isolated. The Radiant host have spread word throughout Thavnir that a hero has arisen to challenge Virazun, and his pride shall force him to answer. The entrance to the pass is at the Giant Skull grounds. Let's go do it. I actually knew a friend, this is quite a few years ago, who was an accountant and worked with spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff all day long. You know what he did for fun? He played EVE Online. Now, some of you probably immediately understand why I'm bringing this up, but for those of you who don't, EVE Online is Spreadsheet the game. That's not actually a joke. It really is a game that is entirely centered around, you know, efficiencies and selling stuff at the right margins in the markets and controlling certain resources and mining and trading. And it's an economics game, right? It's a spreadsheet game. I asked him about that once, and his response... I need to leave group. Sorry, Giga. And his response was basically that it was relaxing for him because all of the stakes were gone, right? If he screwed up or messed up an issue or whatever, or was dealing with something, it didn't matter. It was just a game at that point. And so that's what he did to unwind. You could see why I bring that up. Sirmul has opened the way to Khadga. Let's do it. There he is.
Through the cragged peaks of Khadga, desolate winds blow over the fields of battle. Oh, what a fitting location you have chosen for the conclusion of this legendary rivalry.
Yes, because you are my rival. Xenos is tunneling back from the afterlife just to slug you in the face.
I was right not to face you before. In environs unsuited to a struggle between titans. Now my patience has been rewarded and my heart races in anticipation.
I knew you'd answer our challenge. You would never be able to stomach the people calling you Craven. Yeah, I think he's being serious, Triaxi.
Such boldness in the face of impending doom. Have you not realized by now that so long as I wield the perch of the apex, I am invincible?
Well, it's soon put to the test. You rely too much upon stolen power. It deludes you. You claim to be a savior to the people, but they've seen through your lies. Even your own father can scarcely bear to look at you. You're nothing but a small, small man hiding in the hollow facade of a hero. Today, we tear that facade down.
will you now? You may have the metal, but have you the puissance to claim the mantle of hero? My mantle?
This is our boss battle music. This is the boss battle music. This is... Wow. I wasn't sure, but I think we're going to be leaning positive for this quest chain. Because I was worried the game would take him seriously, and if it did, that would ruin this. But no, it's leaning into it, and that's exactly what it should be doing. So anyways, you're dead. Is this it? Oh, no, that makes perfect sense. We're playing a caster after all. What would be the ultimate challenge if not having to move constantly while fighting? It makes perfect sense. I was gonna say, as summoner, this is probably a joke. As black mage, and even Pictomancer, as a red mage, well, you know. Red mage is like middle in terms of movement. That would be funny if it's just like you hit him once and he just falls over. I believe you, Pellipsis, now. As it should be. You've done well, but your fight ends here. My alchemical minions will be your downfall. Okay. That's true, the embodiment of despair was lower level than these guys. These plants. Yes, please keep the stakes low. Please. Defeated them already? Of course! Who would wish to end this duel so quickly? My armor! Okay, so what I would do now is have him just fall over. But they're not going to. The artifact, I've never seen it shine so before. Don't die, lady. You know, that's actually a good point, Blade of All. We've been through some stuff over the last year or so in this game. That's kind of exactly my thoughts, Melkor, and my biggest worry overall. Is that there's going to be some ancient godlike entity who's like, wahaha, I'm actually secretly here. Alright. See you around, Kevin Scout. Have a good day at work. Come on, come on. Not die, please. If she can't die, then that's acceptable. I was actually going to be pissed, excuse me, because I was like, okay, if you're going to saddle me with someone who's going to die and I can't heal them, then that's going to suck. This is more or less exactly why I wanted the gear. Speaking of which, thank you again, Rax, for the gear. Because I figured a fight like this would be here. I'm probably still doing a little bit less DPS than I could be, but whatever. We both suffer grievous wounds. Maybe we should consider this a draw. It's lost, Garrison. Lay down your weapon. I'm utterly defenseless. This rotten piece of wood is supposed to make me invincible! The artifact, it's... Oh. It's out of control! I can't stop it! Chat. I have no idea what he's referencing there, but he said that twice in like 2 days. Yeah, I don't know why that's been on my mind lately. I have no answer for that. Don't ask me. It is in fact Star Fox. No! Hit the brakes! That game has no right to be as good as it is. I look forward to reviewing it someday. I'm sad I can't review the 3DS version, though. How's it going? Game! Star Fox 64. That's the comic book 3DS version. It's a damn good game. We've actually streamed it once, just as a casual stream a few years ago. It holds up pretty well. I've never beaten Star Fox Command. We're playing as part of the Star Fox block, though. He's out cold. Now to take back the treasure. Or we can just destroy the damn thing.
Happen. A hero never falls! I must retreat. Yes, a tactical retreat. A noble retreat. so that the Justiciar may live to save another day.
Nice underwear. I am so powerless to stop you. That really should kill him. Oh, 100%. I was actually about to say, for those of you not aware, it is actually canon that we have ridiculously high perception score. So, what I like to think happened is we were like, oh no, we can't catch him, and we were just like, yeah, no, just, it'll be fine. Because we saw it coming. Seems Virazun, in his cowardly haste, neglected to look skyward. Was it an unfortunate accident? Or fate delivering his just deserts. Okay, that's kind of creepy looking. Actually, what it says there is fate delivering his just deserts. I don't like to call out the spelling errors like that, but that's a rare one. Unless she's literally saying he has just deserts. It'd be kind of weird, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, his prospects are dry. He claimed to be Radz-at-Han's savior, and he sowed only discontent amongst the people. Maybe some days in a sunless jail will give him time to reflect upon the error of his ways. That would actually be even funnier, Faithful. Fling! And then we fight. And then he's like, alright, time to get away. What's that? Thunk. Now I finally recover the perch. Thank you for coming this far with me, Laura. That was such a difficult and taskly thing, right? Uh-huh. He was super powerful and dangerous, right? Uh-huh. Was he going to cause devastation on a planetary scale? Uh-huh. Thank goodness we stopped it. Now that I've done what I pledged to do, I must return home and bring good tidings to my mother and father. Before we do, there are many others I must thank. In the meantime, can I count on you to meet my family in Tuliolo? Yeah, sure. It's okay. I can teleport. It was fluff, but that was still good fluff. Come on. Which one should we do next? I'm doing tank last, by the way. I was thinking range DPS. Dancer. I didn't expect to see you in Tuliolo so soon. Is Tepeke well? Like, what's the worst one? Other than tank. She really did it, and the man who stole her sacred treasure will answer for his deeds. Father, Mother, it's so good to see you. You see, I learned something today. When you're a moron, you probably shouldn't try for greatness, because, and this is important, you're a moron. So we've heard. Yet Laura also told us of your wits and bravery were necessary for your success.
Tank was the weak one?
Which is the other one you have done, Rox? On behalf of our whole village, I thank you for guiding Tepeke on her quest. You're welcome. Now, the perch of the apex must be returned and placed under careful guard once again. I can just blow up the thing if you want. I know desynthesis, like in lore, The story of Tural Vidra's demise proves we are not meant to wield its power as our own. Oh, gotcha, Rox. I'm sorry, Father, but I must disagree. Once I return, I want to tell everyone what happened at Thavnir. They need to know what the treasure is capable of, or else we risk forgetting once again. I won't deny the Apex's power is dangerous. I saw with my own eyes what happens when it's wielded with abandon. Yeah, I got a good afternoon. Yet during the course of the search, I also saw potential. If we fully understood how it worked, we could use it without risk to ourselves or other people. We could turn something we once feared to our advantage instead of letting it become obscured by legend. I can see the reason in that. We should be ever ready for danger, even in times of peace. Should our safety be threatened, the treasure may grant us means to protect ourselves. But can we be trusted to use it responsibly? See you around, Mr. Red. Great power breeds again. Great power breeds great desire. Cannot talk. Someone with the same ambitions as Virazon may rise again, perhaps from one among our own. I dare say I once ever gelded with the rise and the fall of the Justiciar. They'll think twice before falling in his misguided footsteps. I don't know, people are very stupid. With great power comes great dyslexia. Your only mistake was in trusting Virazon, the same many and I and others did. But unlike him, you have the willpower to overcome your failings. I shall bring your proposition to the people, and they will accept it with an open mind, I'm sure. Now I must say farewell, as much as it pains me to do so. I owe a debt I can never hope to repay. Once I return to the village, I'll do my utmost to protect the treasure we worked so hard. Yes, so hard. That just lines up with what I was going to do anyways, Giga. But maybe I'll save melee for last. That'll be Viper. That'll be interesting. So yeah, we'll do Dancer next. But yeah, we will go ahead and do that after the lunch break. Hopefully there'll be no more MSQ hiccups on the road. But otherwise, I'll see y'all in a bit.